first game of the day. Waru Shattered Pacific Legion out the Absolute Zero versus the outdated Crafters. This is a best of 3 again, Fearless Draft.
So and just like that, one sweeper will just clear off all that minion, and now this is a wave building up to potentially a dive. So Zizune really has to respect that. Doesn't have the elbow available to clear off the wave, but he's still gonna be sniped right from across, and just like that, it's first blood for Absolute Zero. At least negates a little bit more of that damage, but look at the Spirit connecting once again. Musagi now with the Whirl Ender commits right through, and he's going to be looking to at least deny him a little bit of that space. Zizune now with an equalizer, lands it right through, but that's going to be able to go in for a 1-for-1 trade. And it's just so explosive to kick things off. Both sides really showing a lot of interesting exchanges, and there we go. Gets them all rooted up as they're going in for emotion. And just like that, the rocket does strike, connecting right to a dodge.
Those kind of, man, Nidalee, man. Nidalee, if you had, looks like jumping onto the Sivir here, has to flash away, but that flash is not going to be useful because she is going to be taken down again by this Nidalee.
Forgot what's the advance?
It's a very old ability. I remember Twisted Tree Line for some reason, and
that's a very old, man.
The Twisted Tree Line, we call it Twisted Tree Line, and then the Nidalee gets another one. Hey, maybe
having a great dive back onto them with all the members jumping right in. The TP set right through, and they want to collapse. Cataclysm now locking 2 members intact, but it's not going to be able to matter all too much because Yun is right here for a rescue, but they will be able to strike first, taking out the Corki. Yu is already out for Liz, and make that a double for emotion. Is this going to be a triple? Not going to be quite yet. It is going to be that shutdown secured, but it is a lost cause, and somehow there's a flank coming in away. There we go, Musagi. Looking for his target, he flashes the wall. He does connect it though. Love JL, he's barely got enough mana. He is not going to be able to really dive deep for that job, and so
and looks like a team fight is going to happen again here.
In Absolute Zero, they lost all the kind of momentum that they built for this Nidalee, and now Dragon's online, and that will be grabbed by outdated drafters.
Yep, looks like the outdated drafters will have to sacrifice this Camille most probably for that Dragon. Is going to make sure that the side of Absolute Zero doesn't get the soul here. Jumps onto the Nidalee. Nidalee will be the target here. Will have to jump away. Can Yoon run away though? Orianna chasing it down with the Sivir ultimate also available. But Corki is going to be taken down the Orianna as a 1-for-1 trade here. But looks like the side of outdated drafters is just going to make sure that just play safe, play calm, do not rush things out.
It really feels like the rest of outdated drafters, they do have the priority. They send that exit element alongside with the equalizer, just tickling down some health bars, but that's not going to be quite enough. Camille will be the first one to go down. Meanwhile, this is just heavy casualties from the side of Absolute Zero, where they were too late to the party, and this is just Love JL showing how it's done as they absolutely shut them all down, and it's an ace secured by outdated drafters. Right now, it seems like they want to bait Yoon into a trap, but instead, it is going to be Maokai being caught off. Just like that, they have to bail out. They cannot afford to even contest this Dragon right now.
Now you have no CC. How are you going to jump in? Musagi can do so much with those 3 triple knockups and Hexag Ultimatum onto the Aatrox here. Aatrox is going to be locked into the backline. Cataclysm locking onto 3-person, but Maokai is still staying alive in the team fight. Jumps forward to Gwen, tries to snip into the backline, but the Sivir finally manages to get a kill. Rumble gets a kill in the backline. Double kill. Nidalee taken down. No more Absolute Zero. Absolute Zero does absolutely zero in the last team fight.
And just like that, outdated drafters have out-drafted Absolute Zero here in game 1.
Right, so we're going into game number 2. Fiora's going to be taken away, and this again is always a target ban, you know, it's always a target ban. If you know that that team is so good in that particular champion, just ban it out, you know, just respect that. And looking at the bot lane as well, Karim and also Twisted Fate finding the bot lane here, jumps forward. The Galio is the only one alive in the bot lane here, not alive anymore, but it's going to be a trade kill. The Realm's going to be taken down as well, and that will be a very, very worth it kill for the side of Absolute Zero, but never mind, I take that back. I've spoken too early. And why are you here?
Oh boy, I'm not quite sure either. They're spending too long right down the bottom, but they might be able to secure one up against this Mordekaiser, who's only level 5. Will be able to at least get, but for the moment, it is just a little bit of a dance of a parade around the Dragon Pit, and it is going to be a swirly call coming out through. Emotions now caught in between. Now this is going to be a tough fight.
Two-shot barrage is going to hit onto 3-4 members, but Hecarim finds the backline is going to fear everyone. Hero's entrance just enough to keep everyone alive. 4 versus 4, but the damage from the side of Absolute Heroes is just so much, and they have been chucked down until so much of HP. The Destiny from Twisted Fate is going to make sure that the side of Absolute Zero has to be careful. The yellow card is still available. Who he catches will get bursted down. The calling is going to be called here. Galio is going to turn onto 3. Hecarim is just half HP left, quarter HP. Will he be taken down? It's in the Mordekaiser. Brazil land, and Brazil takes him down, but it's going to be a trade kill. Ezreal's going to be taken down by the Twisted Fate as well. Set with the ultimate. Can he do anything? No, it's a 4-member Haymaker. Doesn't catch the emotion. Actually, the emotions is playing against us. Now emotions gonna be taken down with the ignite, and everyone is just jumping here and there and everywhere. And this is such a huge fight, and the dragon is still alive. Lane Hero's set is almost taken down as well, but Hecarim is going to find angle. It's not just Hecarim. The two horses gallop onto the set here. Magnet Storm, Heroic Anchor is going to try to save the set here, but it's going to be taken down as well. Torn on the 2 on the backline, but there is no damage dealer from the side of Absolute Zero. Can they do anything though? Can the damage from Lee Sin be enough? But I don't think this Mordekaiser want to be in this position once he comes out from his realm, and he cannot take down enemy. Lee Sin jumps forward, 2-shot barrage hits onto the backline. Galio is to be taken down. Hecarim fighting in the backline. Yoon finally taking down the horse, galloping away. But I think the turret. Chase back just a little bit more. And
what? And he still survives! He bought enough time for the rest of the team to be able to just slaughter down the rest of Absolute Zero, leaving only Musagi. But what can he do right now? Mid lane is gonna crumble in an instant, but can he buy just about enough space, enough time? He yoinks him all the way to the back. But can he actually settle the score up against Tsune? Haymaker! Not quite enough! Public execution to try to turn the tides around, but now he has to flash away Destiny the gold card, and it does actually get this Twisted Fate into a godlike state. The rest of the horses, they're coming with a big flank, and is it gonna be emotion? He lands the Mountain Storm.
Magnet Storms on to 2, and those 2 members are probably going to be taken down in the next few seconds. Gargo just going to make sure that they stay alive for another second, but never mind. Galio's taken down, Mordekaiser's taken down, 3 more members alive, but can 3 members do anything here in the back line? The yellow card means you're gone again, and in the top lane, you don't even need the horse here, and Ezreal's last man surviving, and the 0-6 Ezreal is a 0-7 now, and with no items at all. I think this would be our first regional final champions for the MSB region. Outdated Crafter takes us to game number no more, because this is a best of 3 only, and that would be our game for the MSB region. This is the first game for the Philippines region. Faithful Boys on the left, 1.5 odds on the right side. Best of 3 games. Who will take the game number 1?
Against the rest of 1.5. But they did actually pull a little bit of that chip damage on the turret. Oh, the boo-boo over there already. This will secure it, and it is with 1v2, bringing the 1v2, and he still will be taken down the list.
Damn, that was so nice. And looking at the bot lane, there's going to be Dive Ribbon's going to be taken down. Bot's going to be the next target. Turret, no more to save you. Bot, can he portal out? Though he does, but jumps into the enemy AD carry. Can the calling do anything though? The Fiora is just last HP, but the Fiora is not going to be taken down. And Mumu safe, and just enough to make sure that 3 members of the Faithful Boys be taken down here.
Right now. Oh, Flash Charm does not really hit the mark, as that Time Winder really buys so much space. And just like that, they now reconvene, looking for another angle of opportunity. Another charm misses, and here comes Sat Mummy.
Curse of the Sat Mummy Gods onto 3, and Ari just bursted down by that Aurora, and he is 3v1 with the Gargo, the side of Faithful Boys, and is not going to deny on the fate. The flank from the Fiora is going to make sure that he stays alive with the Zillion. Oh, and will he be taken down? No, and 4 members. And all members actually from the side of 1.5 volt is still alive. Again, the Amumu keeps on getting those ults.
Yeah, they cannot just simply walk up just because this Amumu is showing so much presence. Does it actually lands a steal? He does! My goodness! He didn't have Smite Zane! That could have been his! But Fuyu somehow salvaged the situation by just throwing his first ability. I don't even remember what that snap was called already. But my, that was such a good read from Fuyu. But I want to see better follow-up coming from the side of Faithful Pride, because this is their opportunity.
Charm's gonna hit onto the Zillion, and the Zillion is no more in the fight. Fate of the Mummy is gonna be used, but the Baron is gonna be secured as well. The side of Faithful, they have to run away. Flashes forward, Bandash is going to be tossed portals away. The bot is in a no man's land, and he is gonna be the sacrificial lamb for his team to just run away, and that is a very respectable.
They might actually get a deep angle here. They don't really know where he's at, and there we go. A call for fight.
Call for fight here. Charm's gonna hit on to the Amu ultimate form. That Zillion just trying to make sure that he doesn't. Can it be popped though? Can the Zillion make sure that the Amu stays alive? No, the Amu is gonna be taken down. Curse of the Side Mummy is gonna be very, very useless here. But level 1, Jang
Top side
Won
though.
again in a very, very weird position, and top side
Pushing
is
into
gonna
Nexus
be
already.
yeah. Back to the Baron. The Baron is still in pressure here. Will Zane keeps this pressure going? He just needs to find and engage. They don't know where the team is. And look at the Fiora. Jumps forward. Can he get the Riven in the base? No, the ultimate is not enough. And 2v1. I win 2v1, but not this time. And there's a shutdown onto the Fiora. And now the side of 1.5 looking for the time of Tampa Fate blocked onto 2. Can they secure this Baron? No, it's going to be stolen by the Faithful Boys. The Faithful Boys leaves it to the Fate. And they finally secures the Baron, steals the Baron, and has to flash away 1.5 cost. Your odds is in very bad position now. The ultimate from New Zealand is going to make sure that the Aurora stays alive, but he is going to be taken down as well. Corky packages away and has to recall now, though. The base is in trouble if they don't.
Those two super waves, top side and bot side, is just living and buying a little bit more time for 1.5 odds, but they are crashing down mid lane, and that's just about enough members to eventually seal the deal. The Nexus now exposed, the Temper Fate locked in, and the Faithful Boys, they will triumph in an epic comeback, a massive steal to still get themselves the lead in the series.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Warrior of Shattered Pacific Legion. So today, I have a new co-caster. Yesterday, we have Contra on our side. Today, we have Giang. So Giang, I'm really happy for you today. You know, you miss. I really wanted you to cast the Filipino match yesterday, but that game was so fun, man. But yeah, before we start off, you know, again, we have to thank all of our sponsors first, you know. So thank you so much for KBS, you know, for funding this tournament, you know. Instalog and Unimas has also been helping us in setting up everything. There are a lot of martial arts. If you guys don't know, Unimas is actually a university in Malaysia where we do have students helping us out behind the scenes. So, you know, getting them involved in the esport environment is actually very nice. And also thank you so much Gizmo Arena for being our main streamer here. So if you guys don't know, in Guyang's Facebook page also has the co-stream, so if you guys want to drop there, it's okay. If you want to drop in a TikTok, it's okay as well. We do have on YouTube and Twitch as well. So yeah, do come and support us in any of those channels. So Gyang, what do we have up here today? What games, which region is for today?
I mean, we're gonna be watching the matches of Bumblebee and Unexpected, both from the Myanmar region, and we'll have the Indonesian region as well, both Fearless and The Last King. I'm really excited, and also, yeah, I do resonate with you there, Dango. I really wanted to cast the Filipino match yesterday as well, but I was a little busy as well. I was doing a different thing here and there. But now I'm equally as excited because we're going to be seeing the represent. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we're going to be seeing the representatives of each region after this, right? This is like the finals per region, and then afterwards it's like region versus region.
Yeah, so this is a whoever gets first place will actually get a bye. So they will go into the second round immediately. But just in case you guys don't know, there are four regions in total. Malaysia, Singapore, Brunei is one region. Indo is one region, Myanmar is one region, and lastly, the Philippines is one region. So we do get three teams from Philippines, three teams from Indo, two teams from Myanmar, and four teams from the Malaysia, Singapore, Brunei region. So these are all qualified. They are already qualified. So after today's live stream, we will draw the brackets. So yeah, those teams
Mhm.
will get biased, and then we will draw the brackets and see who face who. But one thing for sure, they won't be a Malaysia versus Malaysia again. It will be an international stage from now on. So we do
Mhm.
see a rise band here. That is, as usual. It's actually unusual. We don't see a rise band a lot technically.
Yeah, it might just be a target ban here towards one of the players of Unexpected. Meanwhile, on their side, I think they're going to be focusing on champions that deal true damage, that are strong in a 1v1 sense. I'm not going to be surprised if they ban something like a Ribbon as well here on Unexpected.
Yeah, and Viego is gonna get banned away here. This champion, man, Viego, man. It's always been a staple pick where if a good Viego just gets those resets, man, under the turret, changing champions, messing things up. Viego always has that unexpected factor where, who do you change into? Suddenly this guy has my team's abilities, so I'm not prepared for that. Viego has always been a troublemaker in even our
Yeah.
rank games. In our rank games, it's either a 10-0 Viego or a 0-10 Viego in our team. So yeah, you get it's not an easy champion to play, but this is a target ban. Most probably, like I said, this might be just a very targeted ban on the player from the unexpected side.
Yeah, Vega is a strong champion. If you want to carry your team, especially hard, you pick Viego. That's why it's highly popular in rank games, right? When someone really wants to grind, and if their main role is jungler role, they pick Viego. They banned Nocturne as well, which is interesting because they're on the blue side. Usually, high priority champions are not banned on blue side. It's the red team that bans it away, and looks like they didn't ban on their second ban rotation, or at least their second. They didn't do their second ban, so they only have one ban left. Maybe that's going to be a Bard. Maybe that's a Zillion. Both are high prio. They banned the Nidalee instead, so both supports are available here for Bumblebee.
I think it's a Bard here. We know Nuak. We've seen Nuak playing Bard a lot in the last week season, but looks like the Aatrox is going to be the first pick here from the side of Bumblebee. Aatrox, very good first pick. Always been, if we put Aatrox in, it will always be something that how do I counter this Aatrox? How do I stop it? We need CC. We need a way to anti-heal this one. And Rel, finding the new champion, is finally in the Rift again. We've seen the Rel yesterday. How about today? Will the Rel be good though?
Well, Rel is a strong champion, honestly, especially if you want to draft a team fight based composition, pick something like a Lissandra, pick champions that has high AoE damage. Rel is the champion that will set it up perfectly for you. That's why it's really, really popular right now. And it's one of the reasons why I'm glad that this is a fearless trap, or else we're gonna be seeing, if this goes to a game number three, we'll always see a Rel. Fortunately, it's not gonna be the case. Volibear gets
Yeah.
picked, and they have a strong front line now.
Yeah, and there you go. A volleyball is picked as well, and a Rel, a volleyball. Those two champions will just jump to your backline. Having Aatrox in the front line does help, but what the side of blue team pick here? As you say, also usually the counter pick side is the right side of the team, but it looks like the one that is counter picking now might be the Bumblebee side because the champion picks now, unexpected, actually have the better drafting, even though only two champions. These two champions will cause a lot of havoc here. Bumblebee first picking, but you do have to find a way to break down these two bruiser tank frontline champions here. And Lucian being picked here, a single target champion, has to dash away. Will have a bit of survivability with the dashes and here and there. And there you go, the bot is finally be picked here. A lot more obvious reasons, engage and also disengage will help the team a lot.
I think Bumblebee is planning to be a little more playful and mobile here, especially for this game. There's a lot of champions they have to dodge. There's a lot of champions that they have to run around from, especially the Rel, especially the Volibear. Bard is a really good champion that you can use for disengage or even engage if they want to. And Lucian is one of those champions that are hard. It's really, really hard to chase down. Because right now, the first three champions of Unexpected, it's really strong, especially because of the Corki. They scale massively into the late game. Team fights are going to be easy for the Corki because Peel is there. So I think in the second ban rotation phase, Unexpected should take away champions that are really high in terms of mobility. It's surprising to me that we see an Ari ban on blue side and not on red side. So I think it kind of helped Unexpected more.
Yeah, that's the thing, and I think unexpected will go for a late game mid, more likely a mage Oriana, something like an Oriana, just to combo wise with the Rel and Volibear. You just jump in and does a full combo. Who knows? It might be also a Seraphine mid. I really love Seraphine mid. People keep on dissing Seraphine mid for no reason. Just get that ultimate spell, but our Axion arc. Was it? I
Yeah,
thought it.
Axemark.
Yeah, that just resonates well so much with Seraphine and Vayne being hovered here. Do you think the
I
Vayne's
don't
gonna be
think so.
picked? I don't
I
think
think
so as well.
Lissandra would have been better. Yeah.
Yeah, Lissandra is there as well. Actually, Lissandra is also available for to be picked. So let's see how it goes, though.
Let's see. Oh, if this is a Shinzao, it actually amplifies more the front lines here of Unexpected. They have three solid front lines on Unexpected, and that is wild. And they have their last pick, or they have their mid laner as their last pick, so it gives them so much leeway, so many choices. Actually, you mentioned the Oriana a while ago. Lissandra as well is still available. They can go for an Aurora if they want to, so they would have the space as well because they have the peel, they have the crowd control, they have the engage, they have the disengage tools as well. They have late game scaling. It's a wild composition so far for Unexpected. But Bumblebee, I think their draft solely relies on them getting momentum from the early game, get that early snowball, especially with the Riven and the Lucian, and then they will take control because the drafter of Unexpected is not that strong in the early game, but on 5v5 team fights, it is solid.
Yeah, and Bumblebee has been drafting this. This has been a Bumblebee staple draft. I've seen this draft before from Bumblebee. Just in case you guys don't know, the MSB region sometimes do have Bumblebee inside them, inside us as well. They do play in our region some here and there, and this has been a draft that Bumblebee always use. Previously they are called Feed Finders, but they changed name. So yeah, this has been their draft. The bot has been their draft. The Riven, the Aatrox. This is their main draft. This is a solid draft. But the thing is, this is a fearless draft. You're putting everything on one draft. So the game two, game three, what will happen then? Can Bumblebee be prepared? Can they win the first game though? That's all will always be the question. And looking from the side of unexpected, I believe they won just by this draft picking.
Yeah, in terms of team fighting, definitely they won that part, especially because they have so much control on team fights, so much area that they can take over as well. Bumblebee, they managed to, I guess, mitigate the situation that they are in, especially with the Galio pick. Galio is one of those champions that can deal with the Fiora. He can poke back as well. And I think the engage itself from the Galio supplements the Riven and the Aatrox pick. I think they just need to work around maybe top lane, mid lane, and influence their way towards the bottom lane because unexpected, I don't think they're gonna be aggressive at all in the bottom lane, in the dragon lane. Because Corki, Rel, I think they're just gonna be scaling up. But since they do have Shinzao and in Aurora, I think they can actually make a lot of plays in the map at
Yeah, so
like minute 6.
Yeah, so guys, put your votes in. Actually, put your votes in. Which teams are you supporting? You know, there. Just in case you guys don't know, we do have three skins to give away. Actually, so three skins to give away. So, if you guys are actually in this comment section, do comment which team do you guys vote. Which team do you guys like the most? And perhaps you guys stand a chance to win three epic skins. You know, every life has three skins to be given out the way. We won't be announcing it, but we will announce it as a pack later on. So yeah, do comment which team do you support. You know, maybe perhaps this team has a better draft. You know, or maybe just say something good about Riot Games. Suppose Riot, please bring back Wire Rift. Maybe that. You know, maybe that. So yeah, just say anything. Just make sure you drop your IG and also something that is more building. I'm looking for comments that is more building. You know, don't say like Bumblebee win is too normal. You know, make it special. You know, make it special. So yeah, if you guys want to win, yeah, Guyang, will you join the giveaway though?
I mean, I like winning stuff, but I don't think I can join the giveaway.
And
I
then
don't think so.
just take your
Yeah.
phone out. Just take your phone out. Let me comment there. Let me comment there. Take your phone
I
out.
think I'm good. I think I'm good.
Everything you're good.
It's a community that deserves this much better. Especially because of the support that they are giving. You guys are the reason why we keep doing this. And of course, we welcome more of your support. If you haven't shared the live stream, please do share the live stream. If you know someone that will enjoy watching this live stream as well, will enjoy and learn from the games that we're going to be seeing today, please do tag them here in the comment section as well. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for your
do
support.
tap tap as well. Yeah, do tap tap as well. Yesterday we reached quite a good amount of likes. So today the Indo region, do your job. The Myanmar region, do your job. Your job today is just to tap 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 those screen while you watch the live. So make sure that our live actually. Let's just hope any rioter notices. You know, let's just hope any rioter notices, and perhaps we could continue on this series. You know, I'm hoping that WSPL is a first start for an international tournament. You know, maybe perhaps someone started it, someone will continue it on, later on, who knows. Again, thank you so much for our funders as well, for Danas Ukansuke, Isukan KBS, for making this available. And we are going into our first regional finals for today for the Myanmar region. We're looking at a really spicy idea here early in the game here, just going into the enemy jungle just to find the enemy jungle. Where is he?
Oh, actually, it's. I'm seeing some familiar names for some reason here, but yeah, I'm gonna look into how they're gonna be performing at least as my focus, because so far we should expect unexpected to be a little more passive into the early game, especially because of their composition. I don't think that they will be any any aggressive in the early game. Maybe into the mid lane, just a couple of folks coming from Shura. Tony might be accompanying him from time to time. We see a little bit of damage into the mid lane already towards the Galio, and Venix, I think, should respect the Aurora a
Ooh,
lot more.
yeah, a lot more should be done. Aurora has been tearing up the rift since she came into the league. Has been such an annoying nerf has been going through her, but nothing. It's she still deals a lot. And at this moment, even though personally for me, Galio is a very good anti-mage pick. Just to counter the Aurora. But you still have to respect, without your E up, without your W up, your second skill up, you will have trouble dealing with that Aurora. And yeah, Rel again, the new champion, just jumps in and out of the fight as well. So the new champions apparently, oh man, that just hurts. The new champions apparently just tearing up the rift a lot more than we expected.
Yeah, we see an interesting runes and summer spell coming from Venix as well. Usually we see either, if it's going to be a mid Galio, we either see an electrocute or a first strike on the Galio. I think it doesn't have the soul runes as well, and since he has ignite, he has reduced influence on the map, because usually you get teleport so that you
Yeah.
can go back into the lane or help the other lanes as well, especially when you don't have your ult. Boots completed already for sure, especially with the amount of gold he has as a lead in this early game.
Yeah, and that is not good for the side of Bumblebee. Even though Bumblebee is actually one of the Myanmar region's quite strong team here, but Unexpected is doing the unexpected. Nice charm though, nice stun there. Has to flash away just to make sure that he keeps alive. Not first blood being taken here by Bumblebee.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage already. Especially into the bottom lane. We kind of expected this already to be happening, but not much on this level. And there is a high chance of Elk getting first blood. Fortunately, Bumblebee's bottom lane, they did just walk back and went back to the base. Kankage though,
Poss-
attempting to
Possibility of a
maybe
dive
dive
here.
into the top lane.
Volibear
Volibear
has
is just gonna be taken down.
Volibear just going to be taken down very easily there. And yeah, and Kankage has been doing quite well. He flashes forward the Zinzao. Will have to pop the ultimate, but Kankage stays alive for another second though. But the Lilia is here to knock the Riven down. And the last man surviving, Aatrox, is not going to survive anymore. UPX Tony and UXP Shura does well in rotating to the top side.
Yeah, perfect rotation, especially from Unexpected. They managed to punish the overextension there of Bumblebee, especially the way they overstayed their welcome in the top lane. And now it gives them a little bit of chance to snowball faster because this draft of Unexpected isn't really strong in the early game. They're more stronger into the late stages of the game. They just have to help Elk, at least give him a more manageable experience into the bottom lane. He's not really down really hard. It's just down a couple of 100 gold. So I think it's doing fine. But later on, they need to get that prio into the bottom lane.
Yep, jump forward is well here. Bot is in a very awkward position, trying to run away. No postal available, and Zinzao is passing bot side as well. I actually don't know how do you play Corki in general. You know, you just Gatling gun here, you shred people, and you throw bullets out. You know, but do you have any tips for a new guy that's trying to play Corki?
Well, right now, Essence River Corki is very popular. So there's that.
Meanwhile, in the top lane, the Mr. Cheese is going to be taken down by Ishigami again, and yeah, Bumblebee doing quite fairly good in the top side, even though the mid lane is actually quite gapped by goal wise, but top lane is surviving and gapping as well.
Yeah, it's just so hard already into the top lane for Mr. Cheese. Bottom lane though.
Bottom lane's going to be taken down. Magnet Storm not going to do enough. Riven is just going to secure another kill there. And yeah, the side of Bumblebee finally getting on the front foot here. UXP Shura jumps in forward. Will he use the ult though? Trying to find that Bard here. But the callback from the damage is not enough to take him down.
Yeah, it's a 2,000 gold lead already for Bumblebee. The top lane mainly has that gold lead, especially against Mr. Cheese. We see if 3,000 gold compared to an almost 3,000 gold here for Mr. Cheese. This Aatrox is definitely way up ahead, and it's going to be a massive problem of Unexpected.
Yeah, Venus is also passing in the top side here. They're trying to make sure that this Ishigami stays alive. They might just be, making sure that Tony couldn't do much, deny his place, denies his rotation. They might know how Tony play. So yeah, could be just denying the potential. And looking at the top side here, another gang. The Volibear has to flash away though, trying to stay alive. But Ishigami and also Kankage looking to dive this turret again. Tony trying to help his top lane here. But what will the top lane from both teams do? Out by the Defender, by the Aatrox is going to be used. Galio Hurricane is going to save. Can he be there? The two taunts on the back line here, but the Volibear is finally be taken down. Crew versus two, one person down from each team. UPX Tony finally be taken down. Aatrox, Kankage flashes forward, but the last Q of the Aatrox couldn't defeat Shura just in time. But that is a massacre 2-for-1 trade for the side of Bumblebee.
Yeah, the influence of Kankage was just massive there, especially because of the resets of those wind slashes, and it really breached the tankiness of both Tony and Chase. Should have tried to deal some damage from the backline, but it wasn't enough, especially at the state of the game. Does have the Infinity Orb, but it didn't help in the previous fight because she didn't have that item just yet. And now, objectives were taken already by Bumblebee. They want to take the bot lane fight as well.
Yeah, they want to take the bot lane fight as well. Guyan, can you take this over for me because my screen is a bit, a bit buggy here. Yeah, yeah. So yeah. Oh, yours too. Okay, all right. So we'll try to, we'll try to do the best here. So yeah, Dragon's gonna be taken away as well. But looking at the top lane here, Volibear's gonna have free turrets. Did the Herald pop here? Did they pop the Herald? Who gets the Herald? Oh, yeah, they're popping the Herald now, but I don't think Mr. Cheese will have enough to, will be enough time to pop the top lane turret here. They're trying to force this turret down in the mid lane.
Yeah, it's half HP already. Unexpected grouping up for the first time. But this time, it's not as influential as they wanted it to be, especially from the drafting phase. Right now, they're very far behind. 3,000 gold lead, 7 minutes into the game. Double objective secured here by Bumblebee in top lane. It's another gank.
Yeah, it's another gang onto the top lane here, getting stunned under his own turret. We'll have to ult away though, but I don't think he can survive for another day. And that will be another death for Mr. Cheese. It's 4-0 in the top lane here, 0-4 in the top lane here. And that will be first turret for the side of Bumblebee. And we're looking at a very, very bad state of the game for the side of Unexpected. Can they give this Aurora enough time? Can they give this Corki enough time to scale into the late game?
And this is something that we've talked about a while ago during the drafting phase. Bumblebee, their way to winning is establishing control, gaining that early momentum through the top lane and mid lane, and that's exactly what they did. The influence of Kankage was massive here in the first 8 minutes of the game. This time though, they're looking for picks. Don't think they're gonna
Portaling
be able to
away,
pursue.
portaling away, but they're not gonna jump into that fight. You know, they don't want to jump into a portal where suddenly someone, you know, who knows, staying there. You know, you say hi just in case you take the portal. You know, that could be actually a very good bait technique there. Oh, gonna stun up Ishigami here. What's gonna happen? Has to jump forward, start trying to get onto the Lucian in the backline though. Magnet Storm hasn't been used here, but the Aatrox is just wreaking havoc in the front line. Magnet Storm finally be used, but only catching Nuak though. The board is the not target you want to find here, but the side of Unexpected finally jumps in. Aurora just jump forward. Is he jumping onto the side of Rani? But he stays alive for another day. 5v5. This fight has been chaotic all over the place, but nobody seems to be dead yet. And again, Elk is the front lining now, and both teams are killing each other without killing each other.
Yeah, Bumblebee actually was just looking for ways to re-enter the fight because Ichigami was a primary target there of Unexpected. Unfortunately though, they didn't have any anti-heal items. That's why Ichigami was able to sustain himself massively despite being attacked by 3 people simultaneously. Just pops in the World Ender and even went in towards the members of Unexpected, and the others just tried to answer back as much as they can. No casualties, but again, the pressure of Bumblebee is high.
Yeah, but I'm looking at this rel though. It seems weak from what I'm looking at. You know, it seems like it's not efficient enough at this state of the game. You know, you could jump onto Delusion most of the time, but we're seeing a lot of misengages from this rel currently. You know, ulting only the bar comparing to the rel yesterday, which does so well. And look at the culling, does a lot of damage, has to tank his for his ADC. Alice is doing that. You know, Alice is doing that, but Aatrox trying to find something here. Guyang.
Yeah, they will try to die. The flash in. Elf might just get obliterated there. There's the Tempered Fate just putting the Rel in his place. But now the Aatrox being helped now by everyone on Bumblebee. They will get what they want, and they want the mid lane tower as well.
I kind of was looking like it was kind of looking bad for the Aatrox for one moment, and suddenly everyone just jumped and saved him. You know, having the Galio, he does has a lot of, you know, safety, you know, just to jump in. And looking at the side of Unexpected, they want to chase it down, but is this the correct choice?
I don't think so. Unexpected, they're not primed for team fight just yet. They're really down in terms of gold, and Bumblebee will just keep pressing onto the matter, keep pressing their limits, and take more objectives. Another objective is going to spawn up in the next 20 seconds, Mountain Dragon, and if Bumblebee gets this, they're going to be soul point.
Yeah, they're going to be on soul point if they get this. I believe both teams will want to fight this. You know, the side of Unexpected has to find those unexpected moments, has to find those ways to come back. Even though you're 6k gold down, you know, you still have to find a way to burst the Lucian down. If the Lucian dies, you know, you still have a lot of trouble to finding the river and also Aatrox here. But Lucian jumping forward here, Guyang looking like he's getting caught here.
And will be able to disengage. Magnet Storm already used, so that's a key ability now not available for Unexpected, especially when Mountain Dragon is already up. Ichigami will be the one getting the blue buff, surprisingly, just for the CDR. Unexpected looking for ways to enter this, but the Dragon is going to be taken down. Crashed down by the Rel, but it's going to be alone. Tony trying to use a sweep to at least put them out. But now Bumblebee is just going to be engaging, fully committing onto this fight. Unexpected looking to back away, but it's not going to be allowed to do so. They're chasing them down deep into their base. Flash out by Mr. Cheese, but he's just going to get cheesed here under the tower. No way for him to survive. And that's going to be the ace for Bumblebee.
What happened was the Nuak, the bot did so well before the engage happened. The tempered freight from the bot manages to lock onto the Koki. So while the fight was happening, Koki wasn't there to help. So the damage dealer is gone. You know, Shura is the only target. It's only the front line. So she's definitely going to get busted so easily down. And without the Koki, you don't have this damage dealer. You cannot take those kind of a fight. You know, you cannot take those risks anymore. Koki was, you know, this bot play. That tempered fate was so crucial in this last fight. And now Baron is on the map for the side of Bumblebee.
And the biggest influence there was the ult of the Rel not being available because it was used too early. That's why they couldn't really get that perfect lockdown onto the completed members of Bumblebee, and now double objectives yet again. Actually, all the objectives has been taken by Bumblebee from the very start of this game. The Enchanted Ensemble, the first dragon, the second dragon, and then the Baron Nashor, and they are almost 10,000 gold up against Unexpected. It doesn't matter if you have a team fight based composition that is strong into the late game. If your enemy is this far ahead, then you're definitely not gonna have a good time.
Yeah, and saying about looking, do you remember one comeback 10K ago? I remember the SKT versus Rocks
EDG?
Tigers.
Oh,
EDG, yeah. I
yeah.
remember the Jana one. Yeah, it's EDG. That is you for you to do those kind of comebacks, you have to be so clutch in those moments. You have to know what to do. And looking at the side of Unexpected, they're looking for a miracle here. The miracle, where can they find a miracle? The Magnet Storm will be crucial. If they can find a perfect Magnet Storm from the rail, maybe the Aurora could just burst down the carries, and they need anti-heal, but nobody still has anti-heal now.
They don't have any anti-heal, no items for the Aatrox Tempered Fate to deny the Magnet Storm, and they're just gonna re-enter the fight. That's gonna be a double kill for Kankage. They're looking to finish this game. No one can stop them, even this state of the game. Even if they have this kind of performance, they will just keep on bashing Unexpected, and it's 1-0 already.
It's 1-0 in 13 minutes of the game. I don't think the side of Unexpected expected this to end this early. You have a Corki, you have the Aurora. Those two needs items, and being the Corki, I don't think you're having a fun time here. Corki needs to stay into the late game. And yeah, we kind of messed up what we said in the comment. We said that the draft phase won by the red team, but I guess skills is still one thing that we have to take into measures. If you know how to play as like I said earlier also, that this Bumblebee draft, this is your staple draft. They know how to play this. They won the first game, but can they do it in the second game? No, they do have no more. These 10 champions cannot be played anymore. So yeah, do you think they can do this again? Let's see in the second game. But looking at the items, man, what can you say, Guiyang?
Well, for our blue side team, Bumblebee, they stick to the theoreticals, like the textbook play on how to win with the draft that they have. It is early game. It's through mid lane and top lane. They bullied Mr. Cheese a lot and gained their momentum from there and influenced all the other lanes afterwards. We saw Nguak actually doing a really good job here on the Bard. 12 assists, no deaths, and high amount of influence in all of the fights. The Tempered Fate angles were always good, canceling out the Magnet Storms, the engages that Unexpected wanted to give. All the objectives were taken here by Kankage. He has a magnificent score as well, 13, 1, and 3, and surely deserving of this MVP performance. And man, it doesn't matter if you have a teamfight base composition that's really good for engages with great crowd controls and lots of angles that you can take. If you cannot survive early game, it's similar to how we usually see T1 before, right? Especially when they were SKT. They love teamfight based compositions, having those crowd controls, having those multi-man knockups and late game scaling champions like Oriana and Twitch. But if you couldn't handle the heat of early game, and if you get bullied too hard enough, you can't really just fish for miracles, just like how they did against EDG. You have to handle the heat in order to mitigate the lead of the early game composition of the other team. And then when you get their power spikes, that's when it's your time to strike.
Yep, and talking about heat, both teams, Bumblebee must be in heat now. They want to play another game here. They want to secure the spot in the first seed. Getting the buy is very, very important. So we will be getting into a break. So see you guys in the next 5 minutes. Get ready for the game number 2 for the Myanmar region. I fucked up that a lot. we're back into our faces again. I thought we are going back to the lobby, but no worries, no worries. So yeah, that game was absolutely horrendous from the side of unexpected. They did not expect. This is they did not expect to lose. That's the thing. Even us, we did not expect them to lose because the drafting phase. They won the drafting phase. That's for sure. But one thing that you have to expect is you winning the giveaway. There is 3 skins giveaway to be given out. So yeah, make sure do comment which team is better. You like which team more? Maybe you like T1 as well. Maybe Gyeong is so handsome today. He looks good, even though he's rubbing his eyes now. Screenshot his face. Maybe repost it. So yeah, just say something good about Guyang, and perhaps you would win the giveaway. So we're seeing a Nautilus and Nidalee ban here again. So we're not gonna see a Nidalee today. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't want to see a Nidalee as well. I mean, that champion is really strong, but it gets. I prefer to see explosive champions. You get what I mean? Like champions that has really good engage, makes plays. I want to see Viego more instead of a Nidalee, but it's also banned away. I think Bumblebee really just don't want these champions to be picked by unexpected. I think they're doing a really good job, especially if these champions are the key to victory for unexpected. It keeps getting banned away. They have been consistent actually. First, ban rotation, they banned Rise, Viego, and Nocturne. In game number 1, they did this. They did it again in game 2.
Yeah, it means that this is definitely a prio ban. This is 100% a target ban. They're targeting the enemy jungler here. The Rice might be a staple pick from Shura. So yeah, we don't know, but yeah, it's working now. That's the most important thing. It's working. The bans are working, and we're looking for a J4 pick in the first pick here.
Let's see. Because Jarvan is a strong champion again. Especially because of the new skin, right? I love the new skin of the Jarvan, especially the T1 version. I actually purchased multiple team chromas of that
Mhm.
skin because it looks so good. Especially if you have like the wave thing in the
Oh yeah,
loading
the flag.
screen. It looks so good. But now Bumblebee, I think they're gonna be returning the favor. It's not anymore a. It doesn't seem like because they picked Orn, right? So right now I'm assessing this as Bumblebee adjusting their composition now from early game small skirmish, gank heavy composition to now a more team fight oriented composition because Orn is a great initiator, but it also really serves a lot of crowd control in team fights.
Yeah, talking about On, I know that there's an interaction in LoL PC where On can destroy terrains. Terrains as in like
Yeah,
the
Jarvan
Talia
did it.
wall, the Javan. But can he do it in Wild Rift though? I've never actually tried it before. Can he do it? Because I've never actually seen it done. So yeah, we might see it today. We might see it today. So if the side of Bumblebee is hearing us, maybe just if the cataclysms pop down, maybe just headbutt the wall. I want to see what happened. But who knows? Who knows if that interaction is still available? And we're looking for a Poppy in the top lane here as well. Just gonna try to deny the dash from On. Maybe perhaps Call of Force God is gonna be called, but you couldn't call the second cast because of the Poppy. Might just deny your second cast. And also a very staple pick in the bot lane here is the Sivir, a backline ADC, a late game ADC, looking like the better draft again here.
I actually like the Kaisa pick, especially because not a lot of people actually use Kaisa in tournaments. It's really hard to pull this off, especially if there's a lot of threats already. And there are a lot of threats on the side of Unexpected, especially because of the lockdown champs that they have. Poppy can also, deny those mobility abilities of Bumblebee, including the one you mentioned, Dango, the second charge of the Call of the Forge God, even the Ram, or like the third skill of Orn. Lee Sin can be countered as well, and the Keeper's Verdict is just very irritating to deal against, especially when you're grouping up 14 fights. And if you're going up against Severe, Severe is one of the safest champions that you can actually use as an ADC in the game. It's just second to Zaya because Zaya's ult is, I think, the best in terms of repositioning because you're basically untargetable for a good second. Although you still take some DPS along the way, but it's the safest route that you can have, especially since Zaya also has like her own crowd control. But in this case, Severe versus Kaisa, it's a good matchup. Now they remove mid lane champions on the side of Bumblebee. I like the Oriana ban because when you have Jarvan, Oriana comes into mind, and it's just a nice touch.
Yeah, and we're looking at unexpected keeping this combo heavy draft. The Arena's ban is a very good ban, like you said, and them banning this out and picking the Swain here just make sure that they have more sustain in the front line again, like last game. But again, it's a very different draft what they're doing now compared to the last game. Last game, like you said, it was more of a heavy gang kind of draft, fighting kind of draft. This time around, it's more of a team fighting. The Swain is just gonna sustain the fights a lot and trying to let the Kai'Sa do as much damage in the back line, and Killer Instinct just to find the backline saver if he's caught. But one thing that Bumblebee's side really need is just that one catch. They don't have one lockdown. They're very good at locking single target, but in team fights, how do they get to the saver? Can that Lee Sin do the job though? Is the Lee Sin alone enough? That's the question.
Well, in terms of early game performance, Lee Sin is one of the best champions you can actually use into the early game, especially because of his high output damage compared to other champions. So in terms of ganking, he might have a very big influence in the early game, similar to how he did in game number one. Right, we saw Kankage just dominating top lane, mid lane, and then getting the objectives left and right. So he's gonna be maintaining the same time or same type of play style. I like the Swain pick because right now Swain is
Ooh.
actually quite strong, especially because of the kind of adjusted Swain. Seth is a risky champion to have, but it does serve its job, especially when there's a front line that you can use against the other team because the showstopper gives you a good position into a team fight that you and your teammates can actually wombo combo into.
Yeah, and looking at this on being flexed into the support lane here, bot lane support here, he's going to be fighting against this Zillion. If we're seeing a Call of the Force God being called, if the Zillion time it perfectly, you can literally deny the Forge God immediately. That engage is just gonna be gone if the Zillion time it perfectly. And having a Zillion on a Sivir means that that is a very safe Sivir. To kill this Sivir is maybe a 2 times, 3 times job.
Yeah.
He does has the black shoe. He could just stay behind as much as safe as possible. And also with the Victor also being a backline to mid champion, which means that they are going to be very, very behind. Poppy and Javan's going to be doing most of the tanks here. So yeah, looking at the unexpected side again, like you say, a very risky draft by Bumblebee, but unexpected did have the better draft last game. Can they do the unexpected and bring us to game number 3 though? That has to be answered now.
I think there's a really good chance. I think the draft here of Bumblebee is really good, especially in the way that they're going to be able to protect the Severe. They just need to utilize that the most that they can. I think one of the ways they can win as well is to handle the early game better. I think that's one of the kryptonites they actually experienced in game number one. They were beaten, bashed, and bruised early into the first 8 minutes into the game. And then we saw the 10k gold lead at like 12 minutes or 13 minutes into the game. Then everything was just out of hand for Unexpected. I think this time they have champions that can resist the aggressiveness of Unexpected or Bumblebee rather, and they can scale better. I think they just need to watch out for the ganks of the Lee Sin and prevent also the Swain and Kaisa to get
Yeah,
out of
pop off.
hand because
Yeah,
they're gonna
and
be unstoppable later.
yeah, and also the fact that the side of Bumblebee has so many tanks. They have a set, they have an on. Technically, the Lee Sin could go a tankier path. The Swain is tanky in general, even though as an AP mage now. So yeah, the side of Unexpected really need those anti-heals. Remember to buy anti-heals. Last game you forgot to buy anti-heals. You're dealing with a Riven, you're dealing with an Aatrox. You need those anti-heals early, man. But yeah, this game, if you're messing that up again, you might be having a hard time to just scale into the late game. But again, Victor and also Sivir, a very good, technically melters. They could melt people back later on in the stage, but fighting against 3 tanks, 3 or 4 tanks technically, so uh, drafting wise okay, but they will have to do everything perfect. They will have to do everything perfect from level 1 to make sure that the Silver manages to get ahead and ahead to make sure that she can shred before the Bumblebee side scale into the late game tanks.
Yeah, the tanks are gonna be the biggest problem here later on for both teams because Poppy actually returns more damage than most tanks. Set is kind of like that as well. But I think the Poppy can actually handle the lane much better.
Um, um,
Except if he gets caught like this,
um,
because now Ishigami's just chasing him down. Not really much follow-ups are there. Ishigami actually received more damage
yeah.
than Randy, especially because of the first skill. Yeah, it deals damage also based on HP. So the return damage is really high.
Yeah, a very, very, courageous play there just to go in and deny the ward there. So yeah, unexpectedly he came out very nicely. And looking at the mid lane, Shura again dominating the mid lane very, very well. We've seen this in the last game where Shura doing tremendously well, but his team needs to step up with him. They also really need to pry the bot lane. That's for me. I really think that they should prio Alp just to scale. They played Corki. She did not receive any help. They played Sivir. She needs those kills. She needs those gold to win this game, to scale into the late game. And look at those trades, man. Harajuku Oni, I don't like you taking these trades so much here.
Yeah, Shura is doing a really good job managing this Swain in the laning phase because that's where
Oh.
Swain is actually a little weak. Unfortunate for him though, the pull wasn't enough to get him to Power's range. That's why Shura was still relatively safe. It forced out Harakuju on his recall as well, so he might lose a couple of minion golden XP just because of that.
Yeah, Unexpected doing quite well early game. That's what we know. Unexpected has been doing very well early game until a gang happened in top lane, and Kankage is very close. Could this be a repeated script from the last game here? Kankage jumps forward, Dragon Rage not gonna connect, and that will be failure ready. Just running away from this gang.
Yeah, it doesn't have the Dragon's Rages yet. Still level 4.
Oh, Sonic,
Later
Sonic.
on,
It's Sonic. What? Sonic. I
Sonic
don't
Wave.
remember.
Oh,
Sonic
yeah.
Wave. Yeah.
But really good pressure into the top lane. They should be able to crash this wave
Level 5
and
though.
maybe even go for a dive, and that's gonna be first blood, especially because of that ult from Ishigami.
Yeah, Ishigami ults the Poppy backwards into the Lee Sin, and the Lee Sin finally doing the Dragon Ray. And yeah, there's not going to be a Poppy moving at all. It's just going to get stunned. And yup, again, the top lane here getting targeted bad. Maybe Tony, go bot lane, find some gangs, man. Help your team in the bot lane, counter, do something. We want to see this out, evolve into something way more dangerous this game, I'm actually quite disappointed last game that Corki did not manage us to, come online. So I'm hoping to see a lot more of Elf this game. Elf needs to step up. Every time I say Elf, I remember there's one. Is it BLG player? Elf? Was it a jungler? Elf has been such a good player in LoL PC. And Elf. Wild Rift, you gotta step up, man. And the Dragon Rage Sonic Wave is gonna connect here. J4 gonna make sure that the Swain does not go with no flashes. Can he do anything though in his own ultimate? But he's just gonna sustain, and yeah, that just Swain doing Swain thing. Just sustain, man.
Yeah, especially if Shura doesn't have the Oblivion Orb just yet. No anti-heal on the side of Unexpected, except for Elf. But he's on bot lane. So
Hey,
I think
hey, they
that's
built.
a bit of a development for Unexpected.
Yeah, finally, we're seeing they're taking advice. That's the good thing. But this game, the bot lane doesn't have that much of a heal. But yeah, at least you built it. At least you built it. And looking at the mid lane here, Lee Sin finally gets the kill. It's a 2-0 for the side of Bumblebee here. Mid lane, Shura finally taking down.
Yeah, and it's again Kankage doing the work, pressuring the members of Unexpected, similar to how he did in game number 1. And it's influencing the laning phase a lot. 5 minutes into the game, we see a 2 kill lead already by Kankage, and almost 1,000 gold lead already by Bumblebee. Especially with the gold that they are denying towards the lane members of Unexpected. And a while ago, right? Tony tried to gank Harajuku on me, but because they lack damage and anti-heal, it just gave him a hard time. Now, Kankage, look at the disengage. Randy is just chasing him down. That's going to be the lockdown with a Cataclysm, and they will shut down the Lee Sin. Ishigami now, forced to run away, forced to use the flash. Returns a little bit of the damage. It's not enough to actually take anyone down. Good pull coming in from Harajuku, or Harajuku. But they won't be able to get any kill. Chaos Storm as well is just a bit of a hassle for them.
Yeah, finally getting one back for the side of Unexpected here. That is a very crucial shot down. Kankage finally shutting down is going to be a cherry on top, but J4 got the kill. You know, if you gave it to Victor, it will be very helpful and gonna dash us away. Can Ishigami stays alive though? Haymaker, make sure that he stays alive for another second, but I don't think he can stay for long, and that will be the sack being taken down. 2 for 2 now. Finally, Unexpected finally in front, and can J4, will J4 do something? Will they do a dive though? Harajuku on is actually quite low here, but they're not looking for it now.
Yeah, the lockdown that Tony did there in that fight a while ago was really good, especially because of the damage output he actually has. Prioritizing the Trinity Force, that's why his burst damage is much higher than usual. It's one of the popular item choices as well on Jarvan, especially if you want to have more influence in the way that you're ganking, because most of the time when you're using a Jarvan, you have some damage from your skills, but you don't have the DPS. Trinity Force adds into that damage and makes you more deadly. Now Bumblebee going towards the Enchanted Ensemble, they're going to be contested.
They're going to contest this. Poppy trying to find an angle to just try to zone away, but I don't think there's anything the side of Unexpected can do here. One is going to be taken down, but the Zillion out ready to pop, ready to save that Victor here. Can he stays alive or has to flash away? Shura stays alive for another second, but look at the side of Bumblebee. Swain is still keeping himself alive with his ultimate. Poppy trying to save his team, but he couldn't do anything more with the Enchanted Ensemble. The first lane turret might just be taken down as well, but they're jumping forward. They want this out. Out will just run away, and 3 members from the side of Unexpected being taken down. I don't think they should have taken that fight.
Yeah, because the showstopper from Ishigami just landed onto all the members of Unexpected, and the wombo combo follow-up was there. Bumblebee took a tower as well into the mid lane, and it's a well-timed team fight for them because they just took the Enchanted Ensemble, went for that team fight. They know that Unexpected will not expect that fight, and they caught them red-handed. 4,000 gold lead now, as seen on the scoreboard, and Bumblebee definitely has power spiked hard into this game.
Yeah, again, the goal gap finally building up slowly. Bumblebee, you know, Unexpected always do quite, technically, not that good, but they find a way to keep it level early game. That's the good thing. But they will always find a way to, you know, mess things up. You know, you got the dragon, 5 men on the ground. Play safe. Yours drop scales into the late game. You don't need to take these risks. You know, you're sending the Poppy in the top lane there. No, you want those fights again. You don't need those fights. You just play safe, climb into the late game. Let the Silver do his job. You know, get to those items. You don't want to fight now. You want to fight later. So keep calm, man. Keep calm.
Well, they kind of need to stay calm a little bit more, especially so that they can prevent those baits coming in from Bumblebee. I think Ishigami's doing a really good job in baiting them out. Mid lane though, that's gonna be taken down, or bottom lane, because Kankage just assassinated Shura with the help of Harajuku Oni, and now it's gonna be a 3 versus 3 fight, potentially a 3 versus 4, because the Zillion is already on the way, wants to help out. Kankage is on the way as well. They need to be very careful, but I think Bumblebee is just waiting for their Lee Sin to actually arrive. No Dragon's Rage, but still, the influence of this Lee Sin is very high.
Ooh,
But Cataclysm, suddenly, it's really good for Unexpected. The Keeper's Verdict puts someone out of place as well. Kankage is still pursuing, will get the takedown, and really is just too far ahead to get cancelled here. In any of the fights, he secured a triple kill. In one fight, Ishigami might just get taken out. Still has a shield, has the gargoyle, and will stay alive. And that's gonna be the 4th kill of Kankage. Man, this guy just secured 4 kills, almost a that was an unofficial quadra kill for this Lee Sin.
Yeah, and it's crazy how he almost went solo, actually. You know, he just jumps into the backline alone, and with Seth not being in a team fight, Swain was actually very low. Kaisa was also quite low there. He was the one doing a lot of job. This shows that, look at the goal gap, man. Look at the goal gap. It's almost a 6k goal gap in the jungle lane. Yomu's done. Serata done. The side Unexpected will have to do a lot, and Cataclysm jumps onto the Kaisa here. The on there actually cancel the Cataclysm. We finally see that Polish Water is going to be called here. J4 finally taking down the Swain with the slows. Gonna make sure that the Poppies cannot do anything, but the Lee Sin jumps onto backline, and Victor couldn't do anything anymore. And there you go, Bumblebee with the Lee Sin just wrecking havoc for the Unexpected, and ball in here. Haymaker gonna make sure that he stays alive for another second, but I don't think they can do much. Set here is just to stop this Lilian and also Silver from getting this turret.
Imagine that Kankage went for a fight into the top lane and went back to the base, purchased a fresh new item, and then went towards the top lane to get another kill. 100-0 damage onto Shura, just completely assassinating the Victor. Is now in the perfect time for Bumblebee to get this dragon as well. Deny soul point from unexpected. However, I think the recalls are kinda off, and this time it puts the Kaisa in a bad position, forced to use the flash. Showstopper though onto the back line, trying to get a new position here for Bumblebee. Flash and collapse into. Great punch coming in from Ishigami. The follow-up is actually going to be huge here on Bumblebee. Kankage as well, looking to get this entry. Sonic Wave did not connect onto the Zillion, but is still trying to get that chase down. This time it connects. Kick onto the Victor, and looks like he wants to go in because his mind is telling him yes, and the body will proceed in doing so.
Unexpected keeps taking these fights. You know, we know that your name is Unexpected. That fight is very unexpected for you to take. You're very far behind, and looking at another unexpected fight. What is this Poppy trying to do? Trying to defend your turret, but your turret is no more there, and Kaisa is just gonna melt you out, and that will be a free dragon and also a free Baron for the side of Bumblebee. Unexpected again. Keep calm. Don't take those fights. Let your Silver scale. Let your Zillion scale. Let your Victor scale. You need items on this champion. Fighting is not an option here.
Oh, great timing on the Showstopper. Just completely stops the flag and drag. Tony wants to get into the Baron pit, but it's the Kaiser that gets it. Bumblebee completely denying any sort of comeback potential from Unexpected. Even a Killer Instinct will definitely help them secure the kill onto Tony. And that's an amazing outplay by Bumblebee.
The Lee Sin chasing the Silver into their enemy base. So yeah, you don't get away with those. You know, sometimes you know you're fed, but you don't get away with those. But man, that cancel, man, that Showstopper canceling the J4 was such a cool move. And looking at Swain here, has to flash away. Bailey ready. Shield chasing. Ignite is taking though. Can he survive though? He stays alive. Call for shot is going to be called here, but not much fight is going to continue.
Oh man, Bumblebee I think at this point are just toying with Unexpected. It's a 17 kill lead and a whopping 12,000 gold lead at 12 minutes into the game on a composition that is designed to be really good for scaling as well. Really good for late game. And Unexpected, I mean, they have the Victor, they have the Severe. Both of them are really good in late game, but I don't think it's enough for them to actually scale up. Knock up again. Bumblebee, they want to fight. Here comes the Blast Cone by Ichigami. Just going to be breaking the faces here of Unexpected. Surprising Killer Instinct coming in from the Kaisa, as Kankage is just doing some explorations in the bot lane, but it's okay because he got the attention of 3 members of Unexpected. It gives time for Bumblebee to actually bash in the towers of Unexpected into the base. That's 2 inhibitor towers taken down. Flag and drag by Tony, but there's no follow-up. No one can throw in the damage when he engages, and they're losing a lot more.
Again, no one is ready for Unexpected. The thing is, this team is so chaotic. J4 jumps in, Cataclysm for 1. Nobody is dead. 3 of your members is chasing Kankage in the bot lane here, and Kankage still doing his job, which is trying to get attention, trying to get this turret down, trying to give time for his team to do, you know, get those turrets, get those things down. And the side of Bumblebee, just like you said, toying with Unexpected. This is just, you know, jungle job up, jungle gap. I'm telling you, I don't want to say it, but Kankage showing the
really good.
Yeah, really good inside of Bumblebee. You have to take measures. Oh, look at the stun
They're
there.
surrounded. They are just completely surrounded, like police circling down a villain, and Bumblebee will get what they want, and they want to really just end this game right now. It's only 1 inhibitor tower blocking the way towards their victory, and they're grouping up towards that location already. Slow push into the mid lane, slow push into the top lane as well. Unexpected, they only have 3 members left here to defend this bottom lane tower, but Ishigami just gonna be cutting down the path. Great kick coming in from Kankage again. But the Lee Sin is overextended. He's actually going to be taken down. Ishigami as well is being attacked by a tower. So that's 2 shutdowns by Shura, which is going to be very good on this Victor.
Yeah, failure to catch those damage dealer. That was the issue. Lee Sin, Dragon Rage, someone. I think it was Zillion. I think it was Zillion, but Zillion stayed alive. But he took aggro off the turret and yeah, fallen down. And look at that, J4 still
Oh,
alive here. The side of Unexpected want to take this fight. Jack Cataclysm onto the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa has to flash away. Killing Instinct not available. The On trying to make sure that his team stays alive. Killing Instinct in the backline. Not Killing Instinct. Kai'Sa is still Killing Instinct into the backline finally. And Unexpected is going to be taken down. Everyone's going to be taken down. Elf, the last man surviving, and the side of Bumblebee is going to take us to game number no more 3 because I think there's not much the side of Unexpected can do here.
well, the Zillion is here
Oh,
with
yep.
Bolt. Let's see if Elk can actually defend this. I think Sivir is one of the best champions in defending the Nexus because of the ricochets, and is doing a really good job, especially with his items already. 75% crit chance, and is nearly going towards that 100 if he gets that mortal reminder. Bumblebee,
Yeah.
they won't be able to end this game just yet, but Baron is going to be absolutely free.
Yeah, looking at the goal there, the Kai'Sa is 7-0 and 6, 12k goal. The Silver 0-2-3, but 12k goal, 12.8k goal. It means that the Silver has been doing quite well in farming though. So getting those items is the priority of Silver. Just get those farms. Don't engage. That's the thing. You are 26 kills ahead of 5. So unexpected.
95%.
Yeah, 95%. So
Uh,
be patient.
He actually has like 95% crit chance already, especially because of the cloak that he has purchased. So right now, even if they are 15,000 gold behind, there is actually a bit of a chance now for a comeback. All they need to do is wait for that one moment if Bumblebee screws up an engage, because yeah, they have a high damage champion which is the Lee Sin, but if he overextends now, he can get punished easily more. And now they're gonna be turning onto Unexpected. Let's see, because of Cold War Shot, it's just gonna be denied. Good ult by the Zillion,
Silver
giving
still
another
alive?
chance of one of the members here of Unexpected.
Never
I
mind.
think they're just gonna be focusing onto the Nexus. Bumblebee just wipes out the floor, and they'll get this 2-0 win.
And that is a clean ace from the side of Bumblebee. The Silver stayed alive for actually quite a while in the backline there, but not much can you do when it's a Baron empowered minion push, and the side of Bumblebee will be the first seed for the Myanmar region. Congratulations, congratulations, Bumblebee. Unexpected. Never mind, don't worry, you are still qualified for WSPL. So don't worry, guys. Today we will draw the drafts. Today, after the live stream, we will have a live draw session. So who are you guys fighting against? Maybe you want to fight against this region, maybe you don't want to fight against that region. So yeah, your fate will be decided tonight. So don't worry, congratulations, you guys are still the top 2 of your region. So maybe draft the boards a bit better next time. You have your champions. Find a way to actually play, strategize well with your draft. That should be your answer to that. And congratulations as well to Bumblebee. You guys just dominate the team today.
Yeah, absolutely. Kankage leading the charge, always on the side of Bumblebee, allowed the team to just flourish hard in both of the games that they have seen. And it's a wonderful victory towards this team, and they are first seed. But I think you mentioned a while ago, right? Unexpected, they're still in the tournament. It's just the placement for seeding that was the
Will be
prize
decided.
here for this series, and they can still have lots of chances in the tournament.
Yep, there are still chances in the tournament. No worries, guys. So we will be heading into break here. The next game will be the Last King versus Fearless, the rivals, the ex-teammates. The Fearless draft is here. So yeah, make sure you guys stay ahead. That is the spicy game for today, the Indo region. You guys in the comments, make sure you guys comment which skin you want, which team you support. Is it the Last King or is it the opposite team? And who knows, you guys might win a chance to get 3 epic skins. There's 3 epic skins every life, guys. Just comment something more fun. That we're looking for fun comments. That's the thing. 3 skins free. We're not gonna ask you for money. Yesterday was a havoc for us to find winners because you guys did not did not have like proper build up comments. We're looking for building up comments. I like this player because he does well. Those kind of comments. It's that easy. Kankage does so well. I wish Kankage was my boyfriend, something like that, perhaps. So always there for my team, always there for me, for something like that. So yeah, make sure to do comments. So we will see you guys in the next 5 minutes. So yeah, peace out. into our first game of the day. Waru Shattered Pacific Legion out the Absolute Zero versus the outdated Crafters. This is a best of 3 again, fearless draft. So
And just like that,
Ooh.
one sweeper will just clear off all that minute, and now this is a wave building up that could be potentially a dive, so Zisune really has to respect that. Doesn't have the elbow available just to clear off the wave. But he's still gonna be sniped right from across, and just like that, it's first blood for Absolute Zero. At least negates a little bit more of that damage, but look at the Spirit connecting once again. Musagi now with the Whirl Ender commits right through, and he's going to be looking to at least deny him a little bit of that space. Zisune now with an equalizer, lands it right through, but that's going to be able to go in for a 1-for-1 trade. And he's just so explosive to kick things off. Both sides really showing a lot of interesting exchanges, and there we go. Gets them all rooted up as they're going in for emotion. And just like that, the rocket does strike, connecting right to a dodge.
Those kind of, man, you Nidalee, man. Nidalee, if the head, looks like jumping onto the Silver Hero, has to flash away, but that flash is not going to be useful because she is going to be taken down again by this Nidalee. Forgot what's the
dance?
Yeah, Twisted, yeah. It's a very old ability. I remember Twisted Tree Line for some reason, and
that's a very old, man.
The Twisted Tree Line, we call it Twisted Tree Line, and then the Nidalee gets another one. Hey, maybe
having a great dive back onto them with all the members jumping right in. The TP set right through, and they want to collapse. Calculus now locking 2 members intact, but it's not going to be able to matter all too much because Yun is right here for the rescue, but they will be able to strike first, taking out the Corki. Yu is already out for a list, and make that a double for emotion. Is this going to be a triple? Not going to be quite yet. It is going to be that shutdown secured, but it is a lost cause, and somehow there's a flank coming in away. There we go, Musagi. Looking for his target, he flashes the wall. He does connect it though. Love DL, he's barely got enough mana. He is not gonna be able to really dive deep for that job, and so
mess, and looks like a team fight is gonna happen again here.
Ultimatum onto the Corki is that's gonna be the value pickoff that they're looking for. Just like that, outdated Raptors, they're going all in. Back and back hits all in the 12, and there goes another member down for the side of Absolute Zero, chasing in for the Maokai with nowhere to go, and that equalizer seals the deal. And just like that, Absolute Zero, they lost all the kind of momentum that they built for this Nidalee, and now Dragon's online, and that will be grabbed by outdated drafters.
Yep, looks like the outdated drafters will have to sacrifice this Camille most probably for that Dragon. Is going to make sure that the side of Absolute Zero doesn't get the soul here, jumps onto the Nidalee. Nidalee will be the target here. We'll have to jump away. Can Yoon run away though? Oriana chasing it down with the Silver Ultimate also available, but Corki is going to be taken down. The Oriana as a 1-for-1 trade here, but looks like the side of outdated drafters is just going to make sure that just play safe, play calm, do not rush things out.
It really feels like the rest of outdated drafters, they do have the party, they send that exit element alongside with the equalizer, just tickling down some health bars, but that's not going to be quite enough. Camille will be the first one to go down. Meanwhile, this is just heavy casualties from the side of Absolute Zero, where they were too late to the party, and this is just Love DL showing how it's done as they absolutely shut them all down, and it's an ace secured by outdated drafters. Right now, it seems like they want to bait Yoon into a trap, but instead, it is going to be Maokai being caught off. Just like that, they have to bail out. They cannot afford to even contest this Dragon right now.
Now you have no CC. How are you going to jump in? Musagi can do so much with those 3 triple knockups and Hexagon Ultimatum onto the Aatrox here. Aatrox is going to be locked into the backline. Cataclysm locking onto 3-person, but Maokai is still staying alive in the team fight. Jumps forward to Gwen, tries to snip into the backline, but the Silver finally manages to get a kill. Rumble gets a kill in the backline. Double kill. Nidalee taken down. No more Absolute Zero. Absolute Zero does absolutely zero in the last team fight.
And just like that, outdated drafters have outdrafted Absolute Zero here in game 1.
Right, so we're going into game number 2. Fiora's going to be taken away, and this again is always a target ban. You know, it's always a target ban. If you know that that team is so good in that particular champion, just ban it out. You know, just respect ban it. And looking at the bot lane as well, have Karim and also Twisted Fate finding the bot lane here, jumps forward. Galio is the only one alive in the bot lane here, not alive anymore, but it's going to be a trade kill. The Rel's going to be taken down as well, and that will be a very, very worth it kill for the side of Absolute Zero, but never mind, I take that back. I've spoken too early. And
yeah,
why are you here?
Oh boy, I'm not quite sure either. They are spending too long right down the bottom, but they might be able to secure one up again. against this Mordekaiser, who's only level 5, will be able to at least get. But for the moment, it is just a little bit of a dance of a parade around the Dragon Pit, and it is going to be a swirly call coming out through. Emotions now caught in between. Now this is going to be a tough fight.
Two-shot barrage is going to hit onto 3-4 members, but Hecarim finds the backline is going to feel everyone. Hero's entrance just enough to keep everyone alive. 4 versus 4, but the damage from the side of Absolute Heroes is just so much, and they have been chucked down until so much of HP. The Destiny from Twisted Fate is going to make sure that the side of Absolute Zero has to be careful. The yellow card is still available. Who he catches will get bursted down. The calling is going to be called here. Galio is going to turn onto 3. Hecarim is just half HP left, quarter HP. Will he be taken down? It's in the Mordekaiser. Brazil land, and Brazil takes him down, but it's going to be a trade kill. Ezreal's going to be taken down by the Twisted Fate as well. Set with the ultimate. Can he do anything though? It's a 4-member Haymaker. Doesn't catch the emotion. Actually, the emotions is playing against us. Now emotion is going to be taken down with the ignite, and everyone is just jumping here and there and everywhere, and this is such a huge fight, and the dragon is still alive. Lane Hero's set is almost taken down as well, but Hecarim is going to find angle. It's not just Hecarim. The two horses gallop onto the set here. Magna Storm, Heroic Anchor is going to try to save the set here, but it's going to be taken down as well. Taunt on the 2 on the backline, but there is no damage dealer from the side of Absolute Zero. Can they do anything though? Can the damage from Lee Sin be enough? But I don't think this Mordekaiser want to be in this position once he come out from his realm, and he cannot take down enemy. Lee Sin jumps forward, 2-shot barrage hits onto the backline. Galio is going to be taken down. Hecarim fighting in the backline. Yoon finally taking down the horse, galloping away, but I think the turret. Chase back just a little bit more.
What? And he still survives! He bought enough time for the rest of the team to be able to just slaughter down the rest of Absolute Zero, leaving only Musagi. But what can he do right now? Mid lane is gonna crumble in an instant, but can he buy just about enough space, enough time? He yoinks him all the way to the back. But can he actually settle the score up against Tsune? Haymaker! Not quite enough! Public execution to try to turn the tides around, but now he has to flash away. Destiny the gold card, and it does actually get this Twisted Fate into a godlike state. The rest of the horses, they're coming with a big flank, and is it gonna be emotion? He lands the Mountain Storm.
Magnet Storms on to 2, and those 2 members are probably going to be taken down in the next few seconds. Gargo just going to make sure that they stay alive for another second, but never mind. Galio's taken down, Mordekaiser's taken down, 3 more members alive, but can 3 members do anything here in the back line? The yellow card means you're gone again, and in the top lane, you don't even need the horse here, and Ezreal's last man surviving, and the 0-6 Ezreal is a 0-7 now, and with no items at all, I think this would be our first regional final champion for the MSB region. Outdated Crafter takes us to game number no more, because this is a best of 3 only, and that will be our game for the MSB region. This is the first game for the Philippines region. Faithful Boys on the left, 1.5 odds on the right side. Best of 3 games. Who will take the game number 1?
Against the rest of 1.5. But they did actually pull a little bit of that chip damage on the turret. Oh, the boo-boo already. This will secure it, and it is win 1v2, bringing the 1v2, and he still will be taken down the list.
Damn, that was so nice. And looking at the bot lane, there's going to be Dive Ribbon's going to be taken down. Bot's going to be the next target. Turret, no more to save you. Bot, can he portal out though? He does, but jumps into the enemy AD carry. Can the calling do anything though? The Fiora is just last HP, but the Fiora is not going to be taken down. And Mumu safe, and just enough to make sure that 3 members of the Faithful Boys be taken down here.
Right now. Oh, Flash Charm does not really hit the mark, as that Time Winder really buys so much space. And just like that, they now reconvene, looking for another angle of opportunity. Another charm misses, and here comes Sat Mummy.
Curse of the Sat Mummy guts onto 3, and Ari just bursted down by that Aurora, and he is 3v1 with the Gargo, the side of Faithful Boys, and he's not going to deny on the fate. The flank from the Fiora is going to make sure that he stays alive with the Zillion. Oh, and will he be taken down? No, and 4 members. And all members actually from the side of 1.5 ult is still alive. Again, the Amumu keeps on getting those ults.
Yeah, they cannot just simply walk up just because this Amumu is showing so much presence. This lands a steal. He does! My goodness! He didn't have Smite Zane. That could have been his. But Fuyu somehow salvage the situation by just throwing his first ability. I don't even remember what that snap was called already. But my, that was such a good read from Faithful. But I want to see better follow-up coming from the side of Faithful Pride because this is their opportunity.
Charm's gonna hit onto the Zillion, and the Zillion is no more in the fight. Fate of the Mummy is gonna be used, but the Baron is gonna be secured as well. The side of Faithful, they have to run away. Flashes forward, Bandash is going to be tossed portals away. The bot is in a no man's land, and he is gonna be the sacrificial lamb for his team to just run away, and that is a very respectable.
They might actually get a deep angle here. They don't really know where he's at, and there we go. A call for fight.
Call for fight here. Charm's gonna hit on to the Amu ultimate from the Zillion, just trying to make sure that he doesn't. Can it be popped though? Can the Zillion make sure that the Amu stays alive? No, the Amu is gonna be taken down. Curse of the Side Mummy is gonna be very useless here. But level 1 Jang
Top side though.
Again in a very weird position, and top side is gonna
Nexus
be
already.
yeah. Back to the Baron. The Baron is still in pressure here. Will Zane keeps this pressure going? He just needs to find an engage. They don't know where the team is. And look at the Fiora. Jumps forward. Can he get the Riven in the base? No, the ultimate is not enough. And 2v1. I win 2v1, but not this time. And there's a shutdown onto the Fiora. And now the side of 1.5 looking for the time. Tamper Fate blocked onto 2. Can they secure this Baron? No, it's going to be stolen by the Faithful Boys. The Faithful Boys leaves it to the Fate. And they finally secures the Baron. Steals the Baron and has to flash away 1.5 cost. Your odds is in very bad position now. The ultimate from the Zillion is going to make sure that the Aurora stays alive, but he is going to be taken down as well. Corki packages away and has to recall now, though. The base is in trouble if they don't.
Those two super waves, top side and bot side, is just living and buying a little bit more time for 1.5 odds, but they are crashing down mid lane, and that's just about enough members to eventually seal the deal. The Nexus now exposed, the Temper Fate locked in, and the Faithful Boys, they will triumph in an epic comeback, a massive steal to still get themselves the lead in the series. I really do wonder as we go into round 2, but man, that was just a fantastic way to start off the show between two of the finalists of the Filipino representatives. But yeah, back to the Garen versus Lissandra. If you're trying to poke out that Garen, he's still gonna regen regardless, and we're seeing a scuffle for this Scuttle.
The Scuttle jumps forward. Ramos gonna get caught here. Will he be silenced though? Jangwon in a repose position in what do you call that thing? And flashes forward. Ramos gonna be taken down by that Aurelia. It's gonna be a trade kill. Top lane gone, but Rumble's still alive. Garen is still tanking the front line here. Will he do anything though? Has to flash away. Rumble is in an overheated state. If he auto attacks, he might be able to do something. And looking at the small Yolder finally here, charge. Gun's gonna hit, and that will be an on being taken down. Flashes has to be used as well from the Lissandra. Fights again all over the place, man. I'm getting confused here and there. And then look at the mid lane here. Engage from the Ramos here, trying to catch the Jin. Jin has to flash away, equalizer pretty beautifully, and he is going to catch the Jin off. Flashes away, has to be used. Aatrox with the Death Ender. Just going to walk around, and Garen just doing Garen things again.
Yeah, they're just going to apply a little bit more of that pressure up in the mid lane. Goes over Teeting, and that Rammus Rover commits, and they will get the dive with the Judgment as well, collapsing into the first turret, and they will still be able to walk out with those kills. And instead, it's going to be a massive response coming from Faithful Boys as the massive shield's now getting propped up. He goes knocking up in the air, but that does not deter this top laner, as that Rumble will still fall, but at least he gets things done. Here comes the curtain call. The Fool, he's got he will be sniped down.
He will be sniped down by that curtain call. The Dark Harvest is just gonna be a cherry on top for the Jin. This Irelia or Aatrox can find a weird angle to just navigate around the backline, try to find the Ezreal there, and look at the Rumble is gonna get Chi saying knocked up into Frozen, but he still stays alive though, because this is a full tank Rumble you were looking at. Colin Fosh got gonna go on to 3. One person is going to get the Irelia, finally not in the game. Then the side of 1.5 looking to just take one by one down. They want to play this front and back. Garen's gonna get the Judgment onto the Aatrox as well. 3 kills onto 2, and the side of Faithful Boys will have to just play this slowly again. And Curtain Call gets onto the Ramos here. The Ezreal, the Fool, is the Fool that can he stays alive or gets another kill, but the Jin just does too much damage, and that will be a quadra kill for that Jin. And look at the dragon here. Both teams really want this dragon. They spend a lot, and Lissandra has to recall. Jin not available, not alive here. And I don't think Faithful Boys is in a position to fight for this, but they do have the Irila, they do have the Aatrox. All the Force Force is going to be used here. Ramos is going to make sure that the dragon is going for them, and Ezreal is going to be in trouble. Is going to be taken down in the back line here, and looking at both sides here, Faithful Boys is in position. There is no carries from the side of 145 odds left. The damage from the Heimerdinger is not going to be enough. The ultimate from the Sun is going to lock this Ramos up. Can this Ramos run away though? Judgment from the Garen almost takes down 4 members from the side of Faithful Boys. Has very low amount of health, but they just cannot chase. They can't chase. If they over chase, the Faithful Boys will just jump onto them. Even now, all the 4 shots are going to call out in shift, jumps away, and that is Heimerdinger is going to be busted down. Calling is the curtain call is going to zone the Ezreal away. He has to stay alive though. Jin is going to be target. Evening Child has to run away. Anything goes, trying to find something here. The Fool jumps forward. The Jin is still freely attacking all around with the Ghost. Just jumps. Oh, it's not Ghost actually. It's just his crit passive. Is just very fast. And this fight, man, I don't know what to say anymore at this moment.
Is it safe to say that this game is pretty much over before we even break the Nexus? It might just be it, but hey, that's gonna be a catch coming from the Rammus, but he doesn't have the damage to stop Evening Tile. And look at how quickly he just gets out of the party. Still has the Guild Force up, and this is gonna be a big committal with the Ornhorn being called right through. He gets the double knock, and now they collapse.
They call out the curtain call is just the cherry on top to make sure that nobody runs away, and that is going to be an unstoppable for that Jin. An 11-3-6 with almost 10 collector points here. That Jin is just doing a lot of damage in the backline with 1.5 cost, not being able to find any engage properly. Up, Lissandra's gone again, and you know that has been juking me a lot right now. And looking at the side of Faithful Boys, they just want to end this game as fast as possible, and Jin got executed by the base.
Oh, just a little bit of blunder, overcommit that back by time. He gets the shutdown on the Aurelia. Down one's already out, but he gives his life for it. Will Ender being popped just to get out of the way. They can secure themselves the Infernal Drake. And there is going to be a big bounty on this one. So 1.5 odds, it's still not over and done just yet. With the Mountain Soul, the Tang Rumble is going to get so much beefier. And now Fuyu's in a little bit of a pickle. Does not have the Force God up online, but they will still bring in the curtain call into the fight.
Yeah, I'm looking at a 2-shot barrage from that Ezreal. Does nothing, and the Garen trying to do something here. The Jin gets a double kill in the back, like Heimerdinger is no more and knocks up the Rumble Tang, and Zonya's gonna make sure that the Jin stays alive. Oh, Lissandra stays alive for another second, and I don't think the 1.5 odds has anything left in this game, as the side of Faithful Boys is looking to end this. Irila gets another kill onto the Ezreal. The draft is a very bad draft, and perhaps we could just end this as fast as possible, and that will be a legendary for this Jin. The side of Faithful Boys living it to the fate, and they are going to get the free buy to the second round for the WSPL Shattered Pacific Legion.
So I hope you will be able to enjoy the entire course, especially you guys who've been watching. And all of this, of course, will not be possible without our dear partners as well as organizers to be bringing the WSPL to everybody to enjoy. And with that, we'd like to thank the funders, of course, KBS, ESI. They've been absolutely great as they have been supporting all of the youths in esports from across the region. And on top of that, thank you so much to Instalock Esports as our host of the entire WSPL. And I'd like to also thank the co-hosts, Unimass Esports Club, University of Malaysia Sarawak Students Official Esports Club. On top of that, our main streamer, Gizmo Arena. Big thanks to the guys literally getting everything done for us. You guys can actually check them out because they're having a cyber cafe back in Sarawak. And all of this is supported by Unimass Entrepreneurial Center.
Will Hello, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back. So today, now we have our final region. So we have a champion for the Myanmar region, which is the Bumblebee team. Okay, Bumblebee is the first seed for the Myanmar region. For an unexpected is going to be the second seed. So we do have the last regional finals, which is the Indo region. But we before we introduce them, we thank you so much for all our funders, the KBS, the Ministry, the Malaysia Ministry of Youth and Sports from Malaysia under Esports Fund. So thank you so much for all the funds. Without them, we couldn't do anything. Thank you so much for our host, Instalock Esport, and they are a very good esport organizer in Sarawak, and their co-host as well, Unimas Esport Club. There's actually a university in esport in Unimas. They do have a curriculum sector there, so they've been helping us behind the scenes so much. And our main streamer, definitely Gizmo Irma, has been doing this stream for us, helping us behind the hand. And they do have, if you guys drop into Sarawak, do go to do go Sarawak and maybe play some league there, and yeah, do support their cyber cafe business there. And also everything is supported by Unimas Entrepreneurship Center. So thank you so much. Without our sponsors, we couldn't do anything, and we jump straight into the game. This is the Fearless versus the Last King, and one thing is going to be very confusing for us is saying Fearless and Fearless Draft.
Well, one team is just a drafting phase, and the other is what the team is, right? The blue team is definitely going really hard on this game, upping up their courage, being fearless against the Last King, which is actually a nice name as well. Interesting ban so far here for fearless. Taking out the Jarvan, it's not really a champion we usually see being banned away, especially for other tournaments. So maybe it's a target ban towards one of the jungle here of the Last King. This ban is the more, I guess, orthodox ban that I usually see. Bard, Zillion, maybe Nidalee ban here on red side. And let's see how Fearless is gonna respond.
Yeah, and don't forget there is also a skin giveaway. So do comment which player do you like, which champion do you like, whatever you comment. At least it's a bit long. Make the comment a bit long. We'll screenshot your comment, and there is a chance for you to win three epic skins, one each person, not three person one. Not all three is going to one person. Okay, so do comment. Maybe you like the Last King, maybe you like Fearless. Maybe you know some of them personally, maybe you like some of them personally. So yeah, do comment. And I'm seeing the Indonesians starting to flood in the TikTok page. So yeah, do tap the screen as well. Do support us. This is an international tournament. After this, there is no more regionals. Everything is going to be international. So make sure you stay tuned. And this is our final games. So we're looking at the last champion ban here. Kira is not going to be able to play his own champion Riven there.
Yeah, biggest shout outs to everyone in the comment section as well. That's from the Wild Rift Philippines. Thank you so much for your support, of course, to our event here for Wild Rift. And it's a great chance for us to showcase our talent as well. Yesterday we did have our game from the Philippines. It was the match of Faithful Boys, formerly known as AC Faithful Boys versus 1.5 odds. I forgot what team they were before they turned their name into 1.5 odds. It's There's an inside joke to it that I can't really explain.
No worries, no worries. But meanwhile, in the Malaysia region, we do finish that one as well. So yesterday we've done the Malaysian and also the Philippines region. So for the first seed for Malaysian is outdated drafters. The second is absolute zero. So all those first seed will get a bye to the next stage. And meanwhile, the second seed and also the third seed and also the fourth seed will be seeded, will be in a pool of draw later on. So make sure to stay tuned until the end of the stream, because we will be having a live draw session. And looking at the pick champion pick here, Rel is the first pick. So we have the support pick done here.
I'm actually a bit confused on this first pick of the Last King, because Braum isn't really a champion that's normally highly prioritized. It's not a champion that is oftenly picked or banned as well. And since Rel was picked up already by Fearless, so there's no reason for the Last King to actually pick this champion early into this match, right? But the Camille is really good. I think I do like the lockdown potential, and since they do have Brom as well picked up, I think they're gonna be picking up champions that rely a lot on auto attacking, which is counterintuitive towards the Jax. But since they do have the shield, they have the concussive blows. There's ways for them to inflict crowd control through the concussive blows to the blue side team.
Yeah, and fun fact also, this game is actually a very, very famous game in Indonesia. Fearless versus the Last King. They've been a rival for so long. They used to be teammates. Now they're enemies. They're playing in the finals. Who's best? Who does well? There may be some fight happen beforehand before they split up. So this is a part of league that we like, the
Yeah,
competitiveness, the rivalness. There might be decisions that, there might be some inside quarrels or something, but stay in the game, fight, prove that you are the better one, prove a fight. This is a healthy place, healthy
yeah.
place to compete, and we've been competing in our region for most of the time. So having an international tournament is a cherry on top, man. Thank you so much, WSPL, for making this happen. And, we do hope that there are more international tournaments upcoming later on. So yeah, the first pick phase is finally done. We're going into the second ban phase. Hecarim being banned here.
I think that
Um,
we might see a couple of focus onto mages. Swain was a bit of a problem in the second game that we saw on Bumblebee versus Unexpected, right? So it might be, yeah, as we mentioned, banned here by Fearless, since the last king they will have the second pick priority in here. Like after the banning phase, they will be able to choose their champion first before Fearless, and they should have last pick priority as well. Which should give them much more leverage now compared to Fearless, right? Support and potential Baron laners picked up already by both teams. It's surprising to me that Nocturne was banned away by the last kick instead of just left open. So it kind of means that they're not interested in picking that champion up. Maybe they want to have the Camille as the jungler instead, or maybe they want to pick something like a Gwen potentially in the top lane to battle against the Jax and just have the Camille in either mid lane or jungle.
Trendman being hovered is just, I don't think
No.
it's gonna be locked in. That is 100% no. Maybe a Galio. It's still logical. If you want to throw, hover Galio is still a possible throw. But Trendman is a big no. But if you lock in the Trendman, you have to do a lot of work. Technically, Trendman does do well against, chasing people down like the Corki Jax. Against the Jax, no, I don't think so. But at least in this, the one's gonna be locked in here, and the traditional Lee Sin counter is already being hovered.
Mm-hmm. Well, Wukong is really strong in terms of initiating for the team, but in terms of damage, especially in the early game, he might struggle against the Lee Sin. So it's going to be a risky pick here for Fearless. Normally, we see either Lee Sin or Kha'Zix as both, high prior in terms of jungle champs, right?
Ooh.
But Viego, this is the champion we did see a while ago being banned
Ooh.
twice in both the games, and now it's gonna be available and locked in by Fearless.
Yeah, finally you get the Viego that you wanted. I remember the being played, those kind of flashy champions, those kind of,
Oh,
bling bling champions, and Lissandra being hovered is
I
as
like
well.
this.
The lane potential, Fielders has a very strong laners. Jack's a very dominant laner. Lissandra does do well in lane as well. So they do have very strong lanes here. Winning those early game fights shouldn't be a problem. Getting those Viego ganks will be a cherry on top. If the Viego starts to snowball, the team will just start wrecking it down. Even
Yeah,
though with a Brown pick, with a Camille here, with a Lee Sin on the enemy team, the Viego is still gonna jump onto your Lucian in the backline with no problem.
yeah. I think the biggest deal here on Fearless Draft that I really like is the Viego Lissandra, because it opens up double resets, right? Whenever you get a takedown, Viego gets a reset, like he gets the passive done and gets some heal, reposition as well, and gets the identity of the champion that was taken down. The Lissandra's passive as well is a the additive to that double reset, because you have extra damage, upcoming damage, if the team fight is extended. But I do like how the last king is adjusting here, picking up the Victor as their last pick for mid lane to have that range advantage over the Lissandra. He can just bully the lane and give a hard time for this Lissandra in the laning phase that can influence the power spikes for first objectives, give him a hard time so that his Soul Stealer won't be purchased early prior to that 6 minute mark. And with the Lee Sin, Camille, and even the Braum, there's so much single target pressure and takedown threat that the Last King has that can also help the Chaos Storm of the Victor later on.
Yeah, and the first the counter early counter pick from the Braum though, that's the thing. The Braum, even though it does synchronize well with the Lucian is so S plus tier meta right now, but still, what can you block though with that shield? You can only block Corki. That's the thing. If you can block Corki, yeah, that's half good. But Corki is still gonna melt you down with when your shield is down. So the Braum early pick is a bit where I put my, where I don't want to put my money in. It could be good. It could be good with the Lucian, pairing it up with the Lucian. But once you go into the team fight stage, once you go into the later phase of the game, the Braum will only have Glacial Fissure, the ultimate, to just engage, and after that, the shield is gonna be somewhat here and there a bit meh. I'm saying that the value is not there from the Braum shield. So the Rel could just jump onto you, Magna Storm you away, and even though there's very less AOE from both teams, actually, except for the Victor, that's for sure. So yeah, very less AOE from the side of the Fearless team, but they do have the upper hands from just pure damage. Lissandra, Viego, the Jax, the Corki can just do enough to just spread the damage out, even though you have a few bruisers up in your team. So the Lee Sin pick, can the Lee Sin pick be like the Kankage last game though? And yeah, Kankage Lee Sin, I want to see a Lee Sin 1v1 game. Kankage, if the Lee Sin today does good, let's make a tournament of a Lee Sin 1v1. Let's see who style the most. Don't get kills. Don't like focus on kills. Who can style you the most? That will be an interesting tournament.
Yeah. I mean, normally when we see a Lee Sin player or someone who uses Kha'Zix, someone who uses Viego, those junglers are really confident junglers, high impact junglers, and high performing junglers as well. That's why on almost any tournament we see, especially in international tournaments, whenever we see a jungler prioritizing those champions, it means that they really want to influence all the lanes as much as they can. It means they know that they can actually carry hard. And in this case, we even see first strike onto the Lee Sin. It's a very common, rune onto him as well. Because when you engage first, you can just maximize the damage, especially with the Lee Sin that has high
Yep.
damage.
And welcome to the finals of the ID region. Best of three, the Fearless on the left side, the Last King on the right side. So whoever wins get the first seed for the tournament is technically called the regional champion. So it kind of means that you are the best in your region. So yeah, three regions has settled. So this is the final region here. So we're looking at the tournament here right now. We're looking at the game state here right now. It's a very, very early game. I think the Lee Sin will start to do the first plot here. The Lee Sin will have to pass into maybe top lane, maybe find some way. The Lee Sin has to set the pace. The jungler, I think this is gonna be a jungler game. Which jungle is better? That's the question.
Oh yeah, Viego and Lee Sin both are very, very deadly in a sense. Red side start for Fearless Jungler, and it's a blue side or red side start as well, but on the top side for Sampoke. So there might be an interest in ganking bottom lane early into this match. We do see Tokachan though establishing vision, maybe even interfering with Sampoke's taking onto the blue buff, which will or should at least delay his taking.
Yeah, that is a nice cherry on top. This kind of small things, just delaying your enemy jungler just a little bit does actually do a lot. When you know where your enemy jungle is, you can have a better lane, you can have a bit more stable. And looking at top lane here is looks like a very, very sweet time to gang if the Viego path up top side. He does seems to be wanting it.
No level 5 for Zeeb just yet. He did just take the Scuttle Crab, so when he gets the Gromp, he should be able to be level 5, but he actually wants a gank now, and Ratian might just get taken down, flashes out, will be fine. No follow-up with the flash of Zabe, but a while ago in the bottom side river, the Dragon Laners of Furious actually took the bot side Scuttle Crab, so that denied the level 5 potential of some poke.
Ooh.
Now Doom is very low in HP, forced to use the heal. Man, Fearless instilling fear onto the last king.
Nice touch there. Nice touch there. And man, Lucian and Braum, these two should just win. Lucian, the king of early game, Braum, one of the S tier pairing for Lucian, and losing that, you're just technically just denying why are you even picking this pick if you can't dominate. Rel is so good in this meta. I personally think that she's gonna be still be nerfed a little bit more. You gotta be adjusted just a little bit. But again, picking early game champions, you couldn't dominate early, it's going to mess up your thing a lot more. So Lucian still does well in the late game. It's always Lucian has always been a mid and a late game. Mid game he's going to be missing if you can't do early things. So yeah, so Lucian has to step up here, has to find things, and the side of the last king has to use your early game advantage here. You have a Lee Sin here.
Let's see if this Lee Sin can actually have a high impact so far, right? Because at the current state of the game, we don't really see that much presence by Sampoke. On bot side, he was denied the Scuttle Crab, and right now he's just farming, or at least focusing on farming. It's already level 6, but no attempts just yet. We actually saw more presence from Zeev, which ganked into the top lane. Bottom lane is constantly being shoved, and Andy Garcia is doing a really good job alongside with Toka-chan in just completely outpowering the Last King's bottom laners and always getting prior. I think getting priority in the lane helps your jungler so much because you can help him out. Right now, Toka-chan is just getting vision towards Sampo. Sonic Wave
Ooh.
is gonna connect. And looks like they're gonna try to counter it out. Dragon's Rage into the flash out, but the Lee Sin is still gonna be taken down.
Ooh.
That's first blood by Fearless. Evened out though by the last king, but Zeev is now starting to pop off with a triple kill of his own.
Triple kill for Zeev. The Lee Sin does get the insight on the Corki, but what happened there? Only one kill trade for 3. That was not a good start for the side of the last king here. Your mid lane gone. Was it your mid lane? No, your jungler gone. Your ADC and support is also taken down. This is not a fight you should take. And Viego getting 3 kills this early. The collector is done. You're gonna have a hard time playing this game totally here.
And Collector Viego is a very, very popular item right now. Zeev spotting out
Oh,
Sampo. He is
no.
too deep. 4-0 start for this player. And Fearless definitely is really strong right now.
What kind of logic is that? You just lost a huge team fight. The Viego is 3-0, and then you go invade the jungle. So it's you have no camps. That's the thing. And looking at the top lane here, there might be a tower dive as well.
They will just try to decimate Racing, but he actually was able to stay alive, which is good. So
Yeah.
no additional kills for the Viego. It would have been 5-0, 5 minutes into the game if ever. Now into the bottom lane, Toka-chan already using the Magnet Storm, locking down the ADC or the Lucian, Yanta, but it's getting him low in HP as well. Still dashes in, and looks like Sampo is gonna be lingering here into the bot lane. But since Zeev is here, I think the gank is cancelled.
Yeah, the mid lane potential from the last king is so much, but has been denied by the Viego, by the bot lane for the side of Fearless here. And Dragon, I don't think there's much the side of the last king can do. Team fight is bound to happen for this Dragon. Teleport is going to be used by the Jax here.
Oh, no.
And also the Camille here, they're jumping on the Frozen Tomb onto the Camille. Camille just be a sacrifice, and the Camille over another island, and it's going to be taken down. 5 versus 4. This team fight is still available. Carol Storm from the Victor is still away. Jax jumping onto the backline. Mountain Dragon is going to be secured by the Lee Sin inside, but cannot do anything. Frozen Tomb just locks the Lee Sin down, and it will be the Dragon secure for the last king, but Fearless gets another kill on their board.
Yeah, 2 kills for an objective. Not really the most efficient here for the last king, but I think we have to compliment Sampo in getting that steal. It gave them a good chance and at least scaling here into this game, but the Enchanted Ensemble is going to be secured here by Fearless, which they can use in top lane to maybe secure the first tower as well. And in terms of gold, they're getting a lot already. 5-0 for Zeev. He has almost all the kills, except for that one that Andy Garcia did take a while ago. And the gold is starting to rise. 3,000 gold lead for Fearless.
Yeah, is Andy Garcia a Filipino? Because I feel like that is a Filipino name. So
The
yeah,
Andy Garcia.
yeah, it feels so Filipino, that name, but yeah,
Yeah, that
No,
guy is
dude,
sus,
does-
bro.
That guy sucks, bro. Are you Indo? So yeah, and we do have like we've been saying the support Tokachan, man, but you have to say it cuter, like Tokachan, and you have to say it like that. Same goes
Yeah,
to
hi.
Nyanta. Nyanta, you have to say it with the cute tone,
Really?
Yeah, I want to see you
I
say
didn't.
that in team fights.
No, no. Oh, good engage though. Ardo will get the follow up, and the rest of the team is just gonna be dishing out the
Ooh,
damage. There's
the
even a
Viego.
solo kill by Zeev, and the last king is just losing their momentum right now.
Yeah, the last king showing why they are the last king, and the last king doesn't deserve the throne if they keep on playing like this. And Lee Sin again invading the blue buff. I'm telling you, this Lee Sin has a blue buff thing, has a thing with this blue buff. He doesn't have. He could gank top, but
Obsession.
he didn't. Yeah, obsession with this blue buff. So yeah,
Oh,
looking at
hmm?
it's a very offside position here. The Lissandra half HP, but jumps forward, and
Oh
that
my god.
is another kill for that Viego. It's a 6-0 kill with a Yomus with a Lee Sin now. Jumps forward again, and I don't think the Camille can survive for another day. Hextech ultimate is going to be used just to delay the death, but he will be taken down as well.
7-0 and 2. At 8 minutes into the game, that is an explosive score. And
Ooh.
even once more, here comes a follow-up coming from Ardo as well, putting the ice prison onto Nyanta. It took some time for him to actually get taken down, but Delisand is still going to be able to stay alive now. Just Zeev overpowering everyone that comes close to him. It even
Ooh.
jumps in again onto another one.
Oh.
Seer has no way to escape, especially with that explosive damage from this Viego. 9-0 at 9 minutes into the game. He's just stacking those kills, 1 kill per minute.
No, I think the only logic Sampok has now is more like don't worry, I don't have kill, but I got the enemy blue. So, man, we the side of the last king drafted such an early such an early the Lee Sin, the Lucian, the Brown. These comms thrive in early fights, but has been denied. Those gangs has been denied, and struggling in the mid lane. The Lucian cannot scale so well into the late game against this kind of drop. The Viego is 9-0 with I don't know how many stacks that the collector. I think it's 7 or 6. I think it's 6 stacks of collector, and yeah, the stacks of collector is just going to keep on stacking up. And Lee Sin is a very bit bad position here. Camille flanking though, trying to find an angle in the back behind here. Will they jump in? The last king have to find a miracle. Glacier Fisher is going to be used here, trying to lock down the Rel, but the one that is locking down is the Lucian. Lucian be taken down, and Lucian is going to be zoned out from the game. Actually, no, not Lucian. Lee Sin is going to be zoned out of the game, and the side of Fearless fearlessly jumps forward and gets those kills.
And the reason why they are fearless is because they have the skills and performance to back up everything that they do. 14-1 is just an absolute menace of a performance here by Fearless. Definitely, giving a hard time towards their rivals, right? And next dragon is going to be spawning up. I don't think Sampok is going to be capable enough of stealing this dragon anymore. Just like, unlike how he did a while ago, especially with a 75% crit chance on the Viego. Already done with the dragon. Toka-chan now being isolated, but it's okay for him because he's a solid tank. There's even a flank coming in. Here comes Lissandra going in with the claw, just looking for that angle. Still has the flash, hasn't used it just yet. They want to be in sync and going in.
Lee Sin
They
gets the blue
don't
again.
really get the shots just yet. Yeah, it just takes the blue. It's his primary objective at this point. I don't understand, but it's entertaining to see. Sampok just always getting the blue buff.
Yeah, apparently he loves the blue buff so much. I have no idea. I have no idea why.
I'm
But
waiting for the proposal.
yeah.
Waiting for the wedding.
But yeah, the whole game, man, I really love how Toka-chan playing, man. Look at it. Toka-chan has been allowing the side of Fearless being fearless. This Fearless being able to be this Fearless, going in, jumping in, walking where they're going is because Toka-chan always scouts ahead. Looking at Toka-chan just galloping inside the enemy lines, just finding wards. Before everything happened, you remember that the Hextech ultimatum was used on the Toka-chan, but Toka-chan wasn't taken down, and he was there supposedly. I think the last king was looking for a Baron angle just in case Fearless was in the Dragon Pit, but all the Fearless member was ready just in case anything happened in the top side, just leaving the Viego in the bottom lane. And yeah, very, very high macro plays here by the side of Fearless.
Macro, micro, everything, man. It's a dominating performance a one-sided beatdown that Fearless is giving towards the last king, and definitely I think they since it is the king, they want to take their throne, right? And the way you do that is becoming fearless and challenging his position. That's why the position is now quite compromised. Same as the position here in the Baron. No one can actually contest.
Yeah, look
Tampok
at
is dead,
Tokachan, man.
no smite, and this objective is just gonna be taken down by Fearless. Nothing that the last king can do.
Yeah, and bot lane as well. Lee Sin was actually in the bot lane. There's not much of a challenge for the Baron there. Lee Sin was dead in the bot lane by, I think it was the Jax. It was a 2v1 actually in the bot lane, but getting a 1v1 trade there is actually, you're dying and you kill someone on the way. So it's actually very worth it for the side of Fearless. And Fearless doing, if you want to change a meta, if you want to take down a king, you have to be fearless, like Guyang said just now. And the side of fearless is on the way. 10k gold gap here. Even though no soul is actually available, they have to push now. They have the Baron buff here. Just a few minutes, but I don't think there's any issue for them to just slowly take the side of Last King down.
The way to be fearless is saying Toka-chan in a cute way on stream. I can't.
You can't. You can't.
I can't. But there is that. I'm gonna circle back on one of our topics a while ago. The Indo name. Did you know that majority of the time we're thought to be Indo? People always assume we're Indo, but
Really?
takedown or shutdown onto Ardo. Yeah. They're usually when I'm casting or something like that, they assume an Indo
Is it from the
us
name?
Filipinos. I don't know.
You
I
don't-
don't, it's been years. In my 5 years of casting, that's one of my most
Ooh.
common comments. Wow! 3-man Magnet Storm. And now the follow-up is going to be there from Zeev. He's just unstoppable. And he even gets a kill with the red buff. Oh, that is just so unfortunate there for Raisin. He thought he would
Tokachan.
live, but the tick there from the red buff was just enough, especially with the Collector. Chaos Storm is going to be used, but the Chaos is already established and delivered towards that inhibitor tower. There's nothing that they can do.
Yeah, 21 seconds for the last dragon. It will be the Ocean Drake. There is no soul available for this game though, so I don't think the last king would try to contest. They just need to farm, Blue buff not available though, Sampok. So don't go to the enemy blue, please. Yeah, so dragon is, at least I think what the side of the last king need to do, at least, even though your enemy team name is fearless, you have to be fearless too here, maybe try to get a steal, maybe position, just send one guy try to steal, you cannot rely on scaling now because the Koki is just in such a late game phase. Viego is already so good in this game, so yeah, take those risks. You are the one that has to be fearless. The last king has to be fearless to win this game.
You know what? I'm just waiting for an Infinity Edge item here on the Viego. Get that 100% crit. And
Will he though? He's going
100 to
for
0
a,
almost anyone.
I feel like he's
Well,
going
he
for
has
a
a Hex
GA.
Drinker. Wait, I'm looking at a different champion. Yeah, he has Death Essence and maybe GA. So not 100% crit, but a much better resistance in terms of damage, right?
Man,
Now
yeah.
they're just fully overpowering anyone that comes across them. And Last King desperately trying to defend as well, but it's going to be very difficult in defending because there's 2 lanes being backed down already, 2 towers almost simultaneously being taken down. Seer, he will pop in the Chaos Storm, immediately blows up too, and this might be the opportunity right now for the Last King. They're looking for entries onto Zip, they want to shut him down. Here comes the Laser, he's hiding on his second skill, still trying to take back, but it's not gonna be enough. He does get shut down, and that's a great way to at least be alive here in this game. They get the ace at 16 minutes.
But the top lane turret, though, the minion is pushing. They could not rush this Baron down. The Victor has to recall. The Lucian has to be in time here. They have to take this Baron immediately. They have to do something. Send someone back. Camille is the one that has to recall here. Victor is going to immediately push the bot lane, the mid lane turret here to make sure that they get their push here. And that was actually a very amazing team fight. Finally, the combo wombo went off with the Victor Chaos Storm, with the stuns and everything. Somehow they find a way to pull themselves, scrap themselves back.
I believe they were 10,000 gold behind prior to everything that just transpired in just a span of a minute, and now they're only 5,000 down. This Victor also just picked a Rabadon's death cap, so he is already fed. Actually,
Yeah.
4,000 gold up compared to the Lissandra. In Filipino, I'm gonna teach you a Filipino word. We
Okay.
call
Okay.
when someone is rich, when someone is this rich, like the situation here for Seer against Alessandra, we call that person paldo. It's
Paldo.
the yeah, paldo. Paldo. It means like rich.
It means like
Yeah,
rich.
yeah.
So Paldo.
Rich.
So we're looking
Paldo.
at the Zeef. Zeef is also Paldo against some
Oh
poke, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that works, right? I think that was. Paldo people are not here to in this team fight. Koki has to run away. Sampoke is we're looking at the Viego here. Where is the Viego? Viego is in actually the Lucian form. That's why I couldn't find the Viego and gets another reset. And the Paldo gap is being thrown away now.
Oh, that's quite sad here for the last king. I mean, still, Fearless is the one ahead. Raisin though, being able to resist the damage of the Jax at least for a while, but until just the rest of the team just follows up and he's dead.
Yeah, there was like a second win where the last king was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna fall." Oh, listen, listen. Oh, he gets the kill
Ooh.
on the Koki, and can he get this heist away? Or can he run away? Looks like Tokachan is trying to chase him down, making sure that he cannot get his recall though. But the portal is there, and again, no blue buff. I want to see a blue buff. I want to see him taking a blue buff again. That's the thing. But
There was a
do
blue
you,
buff that he did pass by.
yeah,
His
but
own
do
blue
you
buff.
do you realize that once he stopped taking blue, he's doing well.
It was his limiter, I guess.
Yeah, maybe there's a 0-10
Well,
Yasuo. This one
well,
is a
I guess sometimes you just have to move on from something, right?
yeah,
Aw.
your ex not gonna come back, man. The blue buff is not gonna come back, bro.
No more blue buff for
No more blue
Sampo.
buff for you. Yeah, no more blue buff
It's
for you, man.
champion time. Champion time.
Yeah, and he is in a very, very nice position to flank here, but will he be spotted though? And that sweeper is just gonna be enough. He's gonna be just enough. Oh,
Oh, what?
okay.
Okay, he was he got spotted out.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
got spotted on
Elder
a
Dragon
team
though
fight.
is
What's
gonna
gonna
be
happen
up.
here?
Counter strike onto two, and the last king, their position is compromised. Seer is in no good position to actually cast the Chaos Storm. He's still just trying to get into that position. Chaos Storm not really doing that much. No takedowns, and they lost 3. Well, they did secure the Corki, but the Elder Dragon is still gonna be available here for Fearless. And with this, Baron takedown is gonna be much easier because they have the kill threat.
Yeah, I think the last king actually doesn't want to group up as 5 because they are a bit too scared of the potential of the Magna Storm by Tokachan. So it's a bit too, a bit too risky for them to just group up. So they try to make this kind of, split up a bit. Let's jump them up if we see someone. But
Yeah.
Fearless just jumps first, I see you too. I see your illusion. I'm going to jump first, I'm not going to give you any chance to jump on me.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is what Fearless has been doing very well apparently with the Rel pickup there.
Yeah, and it's a little unfortunate for the last king. And in the Philippines, I'm gonna teach you another.
Oh,
Filipino
another
word.
one. Okay, so
We're
wait, hold
gonna
up.
be teaching
I
everyone
thought-
here in the live stream a lot of Filipino terms. There's a term in the Philippines when something unfortunate happens. There's an expression that we say, and
Okay.
the expression is "aray ko,"
Aray
or
ko.
we say it "aray ko." It
Aray
means, like,
ko.
unfortunate. It's like something
Unfortunate.
like that. Yeah.
I have to write it down. I totally forgot the last one. What was the last one? Hold up.
Paldo.
Aray ko.
The
Paldo.
last one is,
The last one
aray
is
ko.
rich. Paldo. Oh, looking at
Yeah.
that is very aray ko for that
Aray
lead in.
ko.
He doesn't play this well and he's going to be taken down as well again. And man, the last king is
Aray
in
ko.
aray ko. Wait, I
Oh,
know one
man.
thing. Wasn't it? I know one Filipino word and the Chaos Storm is trying to do everything that he can, but the last king is in a very bad state here. What's the word? I think it was lakad matata. What does it actually mean?
Lakad matatag.
Yeah.
It's like march on courageously, something like that.
Okay, all right. So lakad matata technically work. You're marching to kill the king. So yeah. Yeah. I'm praying that you can use it the next game. Please use it the next game.
Usually, the lakad matatag is used when it's like a victory march.
Okay.
A victory march.
Oh,
yeah.
so
And
not.
there's one team actually in the Philippines, but not on Wild Rift, but in League of Legends that always does that. I think a lot of our Filipino fans also know that or are familiar with that, even if it's in League PC. it's Guardian's Hive before. Whenever they win, and usually they do a dominating one-sided beatdown win against anyone. And when they win, they get the Rift Herald, they don't spawn it, and when it's their victory march, they spawn the Rift Herald and walk alongside with it
Yeah,
to
and
end the
that
game.
that is actually quite impressive, to
Mhm.
Rift Herald. But
Yeah.
this is only our first game. Can the side of Fearless get the Lakat Matatak on the next game, or
Matatak.
will it be a 3-game for us? So we'll be heading into break. So see you guys in the next 5 minutes. So see you guys. I have to jot down. I have to jot down those that are names. So yeah, see you guys. See you guys. Hello, welcome back to what could possibly the last game for the last king. So it could be a third game, there could be a third game. This is a best of three. So if you guys see the bottom champions, those are the bad champions for the Fearless Draft. We do have a team called Fearless as well, so do not get confused. They are not the draft, they are the team, so yeah, Fearless Draft, Fearless champions, do not get confused. So the first game just now just ended. So what happened in the first game, Guyang?
Well, it was an almost one-sided beatdown. I think we saw a little bit more resistance by the last king during the latter parts of that game, but yeah, it was an overwhelming force by Fearless, and they were way too far ahead to actually be stopped. And it was still a nice try coming from Last King. This time though, they are on blue side, so they can they should have first pick priority. Bard, Zillion taken away. Nocturne is still available though, so maybe they can be interested in that champion and use it for themselves.
Yeah, I'm looking at subs here. Rayzan is not in for the top lane, and the support is also swapped here. So yeah, they do have some subs available. So just in case you guys don't know, you guys can up to 7 players. So yeah, do use those slots, but the register is already closed. So yeah, you cannot add more players apparently now. But yeah, then again, the support picks is always the priority here. For apparently the meta now is always support first.
Oh yeah. So Nami pick. No Lucian though, since Lucian has been picked up already. So maybe they can pick up Zaya instead and have like double crowd control in the bot lane. Mordekaiser is a really good pick, but normally isn't picked first in the first rotation picks. But if they lock this in, it's still a solid choice.
Yeah, Mordekaiser has always been a champion where it's not a team fighting champion. That's one thing about Mordekaiser, but he is so good at just stealing someone out from a team fight. If the Yumi is good in your team fight, maybe just steal the Yumi out. Maybe just steal the enemy jungler up just in case that for example, the last game Zeef was good with the Lucian. Zeef was good with the Viego. So maybe just steal the Viego out. Just try not to die in your own ultimate. So yeah, just a good, very kind of kidnap-ish champion. But we're looking at a very tanky draft here from side of Fearless, picking the Swain up, picking the Mordekaiser up, heavily damaged on AP though. They have to, they have to play around this, but we know that these two champions are so damn tanky.
Mm-hmm. It also gives them so much more crowd control for team fights. I think the Mordekaiser though is still a risky choice because normally when there is a Mordekaiser, it's an easy counter. With a Fiora, Fiora is a much better duelist in the laning phase, and Mordekaiser can have a hard time. So if the last king doesn't pick the champion up, then they can just ban the Fiora away.
Yep, and Vi is being picked up here as well. There is already the engaged potential here, but I don't actually right. And to be honest with you, I don't like the Vi being picked up now because you don't know what you're facing up against. That's the thing. You don't know what the enemy champion is locked in, and Vayne is being locked in here.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, again, still again, the Vi man, the Vi. Who you showing up this Vi means that the enemy could just lock in something like a Nezreal, like a Zaya, like a very, very safe champion just to make sure that he doesn't get locked. And again, the draft from Fearless is definitely going to just go for tanks, or bruiser-ish side. So yeah, the Vi pick. Not that much of a prio now, technically in the meta. Vi not that good, but yeah, we have to see how this Vi plays.
Yeah, if this is well, if they since they locked in the Jace, I'm actually thinking that the Mordekaiser might be in the jungle instead, or maybe there's still a mid Jace.
Swain support.
Swain then goes to the support role. Yeah, possibly with a Senna.
You know what would be funny if the Mordekaiser goes into the support role and just steal the Vayne out. So the Vi goes in, and then and then it'll be a funny where Vayne just 1v1 the Mordekaiser in the Delph farm. But yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. That's the thing. But we do
Yeah.
see some Jace ADC though here and there, sometimes very rare. But in higher tier rank games, you see weird things happen. Sometimes it's more to a troll kind of thing, but sometimes it does work. So please just I don't want to see, I don't think I want to see a Jace ADC in my games, but I've been wrecked before by a Jace Yumi, so that brings out bad memories. Actually, brings out bad memories.
Maybe we'll see it here again.
Oh yeah, Yumi is
Jace
still
Yumi,
available.
yeah, hasn't been picked up by anyone just yet. And looks like the Last King are, or at least they are anticipating that this is not a Swain support or anything. I think it's going to be a safe choice to ban out the Senna just in case. Looks like they're not going to be taking it out. They ban out the Zai instead.
Yep, the ban out desire has to make sure that there's no ADC that is too safe. And look at that, man. If they really lock in this Poppy, who is the Vi gonna target? That's the thing. Vi is so famous on just locking one target, making sure that he doesn't move, especially if ADC or mid laner. So yeah, the Vi will have such a hard time to play around this. And
No,
man, I don't nah. This is
no.
this is a nah, definitely not. But if you see a Jana AP Jana here, AP Jana mid, suddenly work, I would be laughing my ass off. I'm telling you, that's for sure.
It actually used to kind of work, but not on Wild Rift. In League of Legends
Yeah,
PC,
we've seen that
like
before. Yeah,
10
true.
years
Ooh,
ago. It was
ooh.
10 years ago.
That's gonna be
Random.
picked up as well. So we don't get to see the Jana. Yeah, 10 years ago, I still remember that moment. That was a crazy moment, and we're seeing the Z. This might be a last breath for them. They might lose here, so why not just uh, let's gamble
Go
this.
all
Let's
out.
put on the gamble, go all out, and there you go. A Senna and also a Poppy might be the combo in the bot lane here. So is that a Jace ADC? Yeah, they're swapping around. They're trolling me now. They are really trolling me now. So we still don't
It's
know who's
a
the ADC.
Swain
Swain?
ADC, Senna support,
Yeah,
Mordekaiser possibly
mid.
in mid lane, and Jace jungle.
This draft is technically, if you go into if you're having a maths exam, the teacher will say you are not following the formula, but you still get the answer. Those kind of things. Like a 1 plus 1, you have to follow the formats, and when they don't say 1 plus 1, maybe some algebra things. So you have to find the answer. So this kind of draft is more like they have an answer. They're so tanky, but they are not following the standard draft procedure. So they're just going, I'm just going to go tank this game. Make them suffer with this Vi pick. So now this Vi will have trouble just finding a target here. Who
Yeah,
is this Vi going to target? That's the thing.
at most it's just gonna be the Senna, right? But it's going to be extra difficult to reach the Senna when there's so many bodyguards blocking
Yeah,
his way.
Zed
Literally,
also though.
especially with the pump.
With the Z also not being able to find a target here, and the enemy team is being so tanky here. I'm looking at Conqueror Z. That's the only choice, I think. Conqueror, Black Cleaver, those kind of health stress items. If you go full damage, by time you don't have enough damage to burst down anyone. So I don't think the side of Fearless would even try to buy Zonias except for the Senna. Z is not a threat if he's not ahead. So
Mhm.
again, very early game draft from the Last King here. The Vi needs to do a lot in the early game in order for the Z or the Vayne to, just scale into the late game. The Vayne pick is actually quite nice just to, shred a little bit. But, going up against 4 tanks, technically 4 tanks is going to have
It's
a
hard.
hard time. You're going to have a hard time,
But
and
they have a
you do.
Vayne, so maybe they can work their
Yeah,
way in.
but it's not a
But
Lulu though. It's not a Lulu. It's not a Yumi. It's a Nami. So, hey.
it's tough. It's tough. And even if they have a Yumi, right? Mordekaiser will be a big hassle towards the Vayne. So
Mm-mm.
I think they need to double down on their early game, especially since this draft of Fearless isn't really the most optimal for early game. So maybe the Last King can get momentum into the early game, snowball, and prevent the entire draft of Fearless from working.
Yeah, so again, the early games, man, the early games. And who did we get top lane just now? It was Rumble and also who is this fighting
Poppy.
against? Poppy. Yeah, Rumble against Poppy. That lane is probably gonna be a very boring lane. That's 100% for sure. Poppy does has a lot of sustain. Rumble does has a lot of the damage, but still very dependent on junglers. This game is a very jungle dependent game. Like the last game, we've seen a huge gap in the jungle game. So again, can Sampo Cake get at least some pride back into
Yeah.
himself? This is technically a game of pride already. Last game you were bullied hard. This game you have to prove that you are not gapped.
A while ago, or yesterday, actually, when I saw the match of 1.5 odds versus Faithful Boys, right? They 1.5 odds. They used Rumble, but in a tank. Actually, they used two champions that the Philippines experienced firsthand in Wild Round Smash against China during that time.
Oh,
It
really?
was
Tank
the
Rumble.
Tank Rumble and Heimerdinger support. They lost to both of the games
Ooh.
because of that. So I think it's some of the adjustments that Filipinos try to adapt for themselves, but I think it's hard to pull it off.
Yeah, and looking at the poke from the Swain and also the Sana, the Vayne time to stay sustained, but the one being targeted now is the fish there in the bot lane. So I guess it's more logical where if no fish, no heals, I guess. So yeah, try to poke down the fish as much as possible. And both jungler now pathing towards their opposite side of jungle. Vi having a faster clear here. Can he do anything to help the bot lane? Will always be the question. And top lane is again still poking as usual.
Yeah, they're giving the last game bottom laners a really hard time, especially with the claw from Andy Garcia, and of course the stun or the snare coming in from Toka-chan as well. And constantly, Nyanta and Doom has to dodge everything while they're trying to CS. Fortunately though, Sampoke is actually here in the bottom lane, gets there though with the last embrace of Toka-chan. So I think they're just gonna be disengaging, although there is a contest here towards the Scuttle Crab, and it's just gonna be Sampoke getting it.
Yep, with no Jace in the bot lane here, they just don't want to risk it. Fearless just, making the correct call here. They don't want to like risk anything. They don't need to fight at all. So just relax a bit, let the Jace kill. Jace jungle, for me, Jace jungle just deals so much damage. I don't know how to play Jace jungle. Do you know how? Because I know that Jace does go full damage most of the time. It goes for
Mhm.
your moves, goes for a dust blade, but it's just too squishy some of the time.
It is, it is. What Jace is good though is kiting, primarily because you have your range form and your melee form, and if you're really good at balancing that, then you can either switch from poke to burst or full and consistent damage. It depends on the player really, and that level of flexibility is often presented in
Ooh.
high level pro play. Bottom lane though, Bolt Breaker into a flash, and the Senna is gonna be down, but I think it's just gonna be a 1-for-1 trade at least. Zeev was able to assassinate the Nami, so both supports are down. And looks like they are also interested in maybe getting into a dive. But they disengage. The
Ooh.
Jace flashes in, and looks like he will secure the kill onto Sam Poke. Nyanta
Ooh.
though, might be getting low in HP, still has the red buff ticking. Will not die and gets healed as well by Doom.
That was a very good early game gang by Sampo. Okay, he's finally doing something, getting back, getting into his team, helping his team. But Zeef was just so sneaky there, playing that slow, playing it behind, making sure that he doesn't get spotted. And I don't think the last king was prepared for the amount of damage Zeef does in the early game. And they just got bursted down. Two members dead for the price of one.
It's a bit of a lead right now that we're seeing towards Fearless, right? Especially with the Jace. Zeev, similar to how he did in game number 1, is just doing it again in game number 2. This time with the Jace, he is ahead by 500 gold compared to Sampoke.
Have you
But
seen a collector Jace before?
no, not. I think I've seen him before, but normally
Yeah,
it is Yomu's first item.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, if he still plays that aggressive, why not? Stack it up early. It's 2-0. You're 2-0 ahead right now against the Vital. But, getting a collector as a Jace, you might be busted down. That's always the issue. But if the Vi will always only have you as a target here. I don't think there's any other people else to be targeted besides the Vi here. And looking at the top side here, the Poppy might just be taken down. The center of just making sure that the Bone Blossom stays alive. But Lucius Azazel is going to pop the equalizer, is going to be taking the Poppy down. It will be a free kill for the Rumble.
Yeah, it was an overextension coming in for Bone Blossom. He overstayed his welcome. Seer though, getting bullied a bit. It is going to be very challenging to lane against a Mordekaiser, because Mordekaiser is essentially by nature good against AD champions because of the armor and tankiness that the Mordekaiser has. On the contrary though, Mordekaiser is kind of weak against mages. That's why it's easy to burst him down when there is a mage.
Yeah, and Mordekaiser just pushes so well. Just pushes so well and leaving the Z in a position. The last dance. Oh, what we call that? The Z ultimate is gonna be
Oh,
pop here. Seer just backstabbing away and stays alive for another day, but he is gonna try to
ooh,
stay out of the ultimate and flashes away. But the one sacrifice is the jungler from the side of Last King.
yeah. Seer also flashed away, but the Vault Breaker coming in from Sampok already stopped Ardos from flashing in alongside with that first skill. So it was a bit of a miscommunication, I think, on the side of the last king. And with the Vi down, it's another kill again towards Steve.
Yeah, I now remember what's the ultimate by Z is called. It's called Deathmark. So yeah, this kind of champions sometimes you do forget those names because how rarely these champions show up in tournaments. So yeah, those kind of yeah, this game like the Jace, like the Mordekaiser, you don't see it a lot. So we do usually just call it Brazil for the Mordekaiser ult. So so it's more like something that is easy. Like Deathmark is actually easy, but you don't see Zed a lot in tournaments. So yeah, that's my defense on forgetting that name.
Zed normally is also just being used in the jungle, not really in mid lane. But now bottom lane, Fearless diving there. Nyata doing a really good job, but
Ooh.
it's still gonna be blown up, especially with that Swain ult. And now they are just ascending here with the demonic ascension being used here by Andy Garcia. Seer just gonna be trying to flank them, but Doom is already blown up. Good shutdown though, at least. It is gonna be
Good.
the Nami though that gets the gold. Tower gonna be taken down by Fearless as well. So that's a lot of gold by this red side team.
Okay, Nami, you got to shut down Bill or Rabadon. That's the only choice now. Just go. I'm the carry now. I'm the carry now. I'm the fish. Even though I'm a fish, I could be a shark as well. So channel your shark. Just go with Rabadons.
Yeah.
This is
Channel
what
your
you do.
inner fizz.
Yeah, channel your inner fist. Yes, correct. So imagine if, yeah, let's call this champion fist now. So yeah, channel your inner fist. Because you're hoping to carry this. Who knows? Who knows? It's a new meta, full AP Nami. We don't know, but yeah, just getting collapsed on in the bot lane there is not what the Last King would want to do here. The Last King not really promising here, getting slowly gap here and there. The drafts, the rotation from Fearless is just too good.
It is. It is. They are also ahead in terms of gold, though not as astounding as game number one. Right? We don't see a one-sided beatdown by Fearless against Last King. The Last King actually is doing a really good job in scaling slowly but surely, and every time, as long as this game progresses without a massive gold lead by Fearless, the Vayne is gonna be getting a better angle into this game. Already has a Bloodthirster, but now they go to Toma-chan. Actually, onto Andy Garcia instead. Donning Shadow is going to be used for the sustain, but it's not going to be enough to actually allow the Swain to survive. 5 versus 3 now because the Poppy is nowhere to be found. Ardo as well getting low in HP. Still has a Gargo to actually have some shield, but it's not going to be enough again. 2 members taken out. Nyanta as well on the side, free hitting, taking them out one by one. And he even secures a double kill once he secures a triple kill, but the Poppy's already onto the tower. But they are happy with the exchanges that they've gotten this time.
That was a perfect clean engage from the side of the Last King. Sampoke just jumps onto the Senna, but instead they got the Swain kill. So it's actually a 4 kill. The Swain actually fall down first, making sure that there's no sustain in the front line, and then one by one they fall down. They don't have damage, they don't have sustain yet into this game. So the Last King did what they do well, is play this early game, finally doing enough to take down, and that goal, that gap right now is very important for Last King to keep. If they manage to keep this, they might just be able to track us into game number 3, but they cannot hold this long because the Senna will start to gain range. But they do have a backup though, they do have a Vayne, but can that Vayne deal enough in the late game against 4 tanks? That's the question.
Yeah, we have a bit of a concern here as well because we see a Bramble Vest and a bit of tanky items on the Senna instead of the usual Path to Mortal Reminder and Black Cleaver, right? So
Yeah.
there's no damage coming in from the Senna. It's just a pure tank sustain Senna that doesn't really
Ooh.
have that much sustain because you don't have the AD to increase your shield and heals as well. So it's kind of counterintuitive towards the Senna, but let's see. Because they want survivability, but survivability isn't really present when there's a Vayne around.
Yeah, and you do get AD from those stacks, that's for sure. You do get AD from the Sinus stacks, but that is not much. You have to scale, you have to do damage in this game, and your range is your ability, your late game potential here. But if you are getting those range but not being able to kill, so it's like you said, counterintuitive, and the dragon is gonna spawn. This is the Mountain Drake. Both teams wants this Mountain Drake. This is just the second Drake though. Fearless might just want to, get this just in case they get the soul. The Mountain Soul, the Ocean Soul will be true damage for you. So it will be very bad if you give away. Technically, I'm just rambling here because I am actually confused what both teams are doing now.
Yeah, they are getting into position. That's for sure. Sampoke looking into the bottom lane, but looks like Seer is just kiting them out. Oh no, it's a great position here for the last king and Fearless. They are not in a good time. They're not going to be having any good time here, especially because everyone is just getting chased down. Toko-chan though is still very much alive, but the rest of his teammates are already down one by one. Nyanta as well is on a killing spree, 3-1 and 5. And looks like the Rumble is just burning the Blossom here onto the Poppy. And looks like the Ocean Dragon Soul that Fearless wanted is now going to be denied.
Yeah, and the side of the Last King does so well in just jumping onto one target. They lock onto Zeev, and Zeev was totally not in the game at all. They lock onto their target, and they couldn't do anything. First person that dies is always Swain. Swain has always been the target. Everyone just jumps onto the guy. If I could ult, that's the thing, what happened there? Yeah, if I could ult, that's the good thing, Oh, that doesn't know, the Vi can lock onto someone, so whoever is locked onto is going to, everyone just jumps onto the lock one. So that's how the side of the last kings want to play. So whoever is altered by Vi, let's just kill him first. That's not thing. That's not thing. Even though if it's a tank, even though if it's a Poppy, kill one guy first, and then we should be able to, navigate around the fight. Give Vayne the freedom, give Zed the freedom to play around those fights. They should be able to win those fights starting from now.
Yeah, and everything started with Seer, actually, the Zed getting chased around by Fearless, and it bought so much time for the rest of his teammates to be there in the bottom lane to punish the overextension of Fearless. And since Fearless were just collapsing, they didn't really have any good position to work around with. So even if they do have really good sustained champions, if they're not in the position that they have to be,
Ooh, look at
just
that.
like now, it's going to be detrimental for them. And Last King, they are really happy and capitalizing onto this moment. The Keeper's Verdict will isolate the Rumble, and Doom looking to just sustain his teammates. Bone Blossom getting a little bit HP, but Seer will find the entry and shut him down. Nyanta, though, getting chased, might actually get shut down as well, especially because of this Mordekaiser. It does a really good job in taking one out. But with 3 casualties already, you don't have that much firepower. Great knockup coming in from Bloom as well. So it's a 1-for-4 exchange favoring the Last King.
The Fearless draft just doesn't have enough damage to do anything to the Last King. The Last King, yeah, you do have technically a very glass cannon kind of draft, but that's your idea. Just deal damage, man. Just deal damage. Don't let the enemy team. Let's just jump first. Don't wait for enemy to engage. We jump onto someone. Whoever gets caught, let's just kill them first. And that has been the style of the Last King, playing over and over again. And it has been working throughout this game. And yeah, they are now the 10K goal gap. So we've seen a lot of 10K goal gap today, apparently.
A lot. In this time, it's reversed, right? It's the Last King taking full control of this game, this Vayne. Even though we see same gold, almost the same gold of Nyanta and Andy Garcia, the impact of this Vayne is definitely through the roof already. And this time, Sampoke is being able to initiate well for the team, especially with this Vi pick. He has the Amaranth Twin Guard, same goes with the Rumble as well. That's why both of them are really tanky. So even though Fearless is capable of sustaining themselves against these 2 champions, it doesn't matter. All that matters is the Vayne being able to free hit. They just give him the space to work around with.
Yeah, I just realized one thing. Whoever drafted a better draft today, I will say, oh, he drafted better. They might win, and then they will lose. So I have a caster curse today, so the caster curse is real. So yeah, so whoever I said that drafted better in the team draft, we'll lose. So be careful, man. Be careful. So so maybe we could just skip the drafting phase next game. So
I think the only problem here for Fearless, because they had a good early game, but they don't really have that much good scaling anymore, especially because this Senna is not AD. I think that's the only problem. They don't
yeah,
have the damage anymore.
yeah, that's the thing. True. They don't have the match. Jace does well early game, that's for sure. But if the Jace cannot snowball his own team into a place where they could just do damage, it's always been a trouble. And Baron is going to be trying to get stolen by the side of Fearless here.
Let's see. They are piling, but the equalizer is piled on top of them as well. Antiger's here trying to do some miracles onto the backline, but it's not going to be enough. Nyanta is still able to shut him out. Ardo, though, trying to chase down Doom. Unsuccessful in doing so. Dynamic pops in another bubble before it actually gets taken down. And now Nyanta is just free hitting for days. Great pushback as well to give space for him to just keep on firing those silver bolts.
The
And those
Vayne.
landed onto the mark here of Fearless. They get aced.
The Vayne just styles on the enemy. Even though the goal is not on the Vayne, they could technically just end the game if the gate go through the bot lane turret here. And this might be just game number 3 for us. Our first game number 3 perhaps, because we have never actually been to game number 3 in our regional finals. So the last king manages to bring us to game number 3.
Looks like the throne is still not taken away from them, and they still have one more chance to secure that throne for themselves. For Fearless, though, yeah, a bit of miscalculations. I think they might have underestimated their opponent and overplayed their cards, and that led to them uh, getting a loss here in this game number 2. Because sometimes, when you are too fearless, when you are too brave, you do stuff that you are not supposed to do. And
Yeah.
I
And
think they overplayed this time.
they overplayed this time. Meanwhile, they do have another game, so we'll see you guys in game number 3. So we'll be taking a 5-minute break, so both teams get ready. We still have one more games left up for us, so see you guys in the game number 3. Hello, welcome back, welcome back. That was I feel my my tech team. So yeah, I was like, it jump into the thing is yeah, I'm back. So yeah, it's finally 1-1 here. It's finally 1-1. We is it in a best of three. So as you guys know, Caster actually technically don't like best of three so much. So yeah, but because technically we do get tired here and there, make sure you guys drink, make sure you guys drink, So I'm blaming the first game. I'm blaming Sampok Listen. The second isn't Listen. It was it Listen. It's Listen. Yeah, it's Listen. The second game, I'm blaming the Senna AD. So what happened there, Guyang?
Well, it was a bit of an unorthodox build onto the Senna instead of going for the typical Mortal Reminder and Black Cleaver and uh, Serpent's Fang, the utility slash damage scaling item on Senna. It was a tank Senna instead, and with you building tank, you kind of compensate or exchange that tankiness for lack of damage, and that kind of was the case there for Fearless. They lacked the damage, and they couldn't really deal with the vein.
Yep, they couldn't deal with the vein, and the damage from the Rumble actually is actually quite a lot. The Rumble actually very nicely, and we're seeing a Nidalee being hovered here. Will the Nidalee be locked? Finally being locked. We're finally seeing the cat again. So yesterday there was a cat being picked. The cat was so fed, but did not manage to bring his team into the game and finally lost. So can this cat help his team though? Will another cat show up? Maybe perhaps a Rengar though. I want to see a cat versus cat.
Well, there's no Lee Sin anymore, and typically Lee Sin is the matchup for Nidalee, though they can still go with something like a Kha'Zix. So maybe the last king will be interested in picking that champion up for themselves, because Nidalee is really good at poking and then assassinating. Lulu though gonna be hovered here for the by the last king, and looks like with this pick they're gonna be interested in going for a hyper carry ADC if ever.
Ooh, I'm really. We haven't seen the new Jinx skin yet, though. Nobody has been picking the Jinx up yet. Maybe a Lulu Jinx here, But if you're playing Lulu Jinx, make sure you have that skin, man. If you don't have the skin, I won't be supporting you. That's the thing. Whoever have the skin will win. Same goes to all those expensive skins. Actually, give you extra buff. Ego buff. That's all you get. So you'll be more aggressive. And seeing the on being picked here from the side of Fearless, they do have a very strong tank in the front line. Done, settle.
Oh yeah, yeah. Great initiator as well. The crowd controls will prevent the last king from being able to dodge those spears coming from the Nidalee. And I think it is a good win condition as well for them. But
Oof.
oh, if they lock in the Alistar, then this just means that the Ornn is going towards the top lane. I think he might actually have a hard time against the Fiora, because Fiora is great against tank.
Oh yeah, Fiora does well against tank, and Varus being locked here is gonna be a Lulu Varus going to have a very very fun time. Varus sometimes is hit or miss in Wyriff. In LoL PC is technically very stable with the Gumayushi snipes and everything. In Wyriff though, it's not in a straight path. Sometimes you build AD, sometimes you build attack speed, sometimes you could also go AP, but it's always dependent on the enemy. So all build path is actually open for this Varus, and apparently it is so tanky. It might just go for the attack speed build instead, the one that goes with Bulk, Runan's Hurricane, stack up those stacks and just burst down the enemy. But we still don't know where they're gonna go here. But the Varus pick is actually a very good pick to deny disengage from the side of Fearless.
Yeah. Let's see, right? Varus on hit. Varus is really good at shredding and bursting those tanks. As long as you allow the Varus to be able to pre-hit, front lines are gonna be necessary here for the Varus of the last king. So far they have kind of two, with this Nautilus being in the jungle. Normally it is an AP Nautilus, so not really as tanky as a Nautilus should be, but can be still quite helpful for bursting the Nidalee down.
Yeah, Rice being picked up here is going to mean that the side of Fearless might be having a lot of late game damage, a lot of a lot of late game potential with the Rice pickup, a lot of AP damage as well. But they do lack range though. You could say that they have the spear from Nidalee, but it's only never mind. The range might be just answered by this last pick here. Will
Caitlyn,
it?
right?
Yeah, will it
I think
though?
Caitlyn is good because if you lock in, if they have a Caitlyn, what they have is additional zone control with the traps and extra range. So it's more difficult for the Varus to reach him, more difficult for the Fiora to reach him as well. And with the traps of the Caitlyn and the Nidalee, I think it can be quite irritating for the last king, especially for objective fights, right?
Yeah, and if this moment, if we're looking at a draft, I'm having the caster curse. I would say a team has the better draft. Okay, so instead of me saying it, you say it.
Well,
So yeah, which team
typically
has
I
the?
would go for the last king here. I think they have the better draft, but it's kind of the same, right? You can say the same as well for Fearless. They have their own win condition. I think Fearless, their win condition is through range and pokes. For the last king, they really rely on bursting at least one champion down.
Yeah, and I don't actually like Caitlyn a lot, because the Caitlyn is so a single target champion. If you cannot kill one champion, it's very hard. If two tanks just comes into you, you will have a very hard time, trying to find the targets and everything. But that is actually answered by the Rice pick here in the mid lane. Rice does provide a lot of AOE damage and also the burst. If you need a burst, the Nidalee is there as well. So it's actually a very complete draft. The Caitlyn pick will always be a hit or miss. Sometimes a very good Caitlyn with little tempo, adding those extra range will poke you out a lot. But sometimes if the enemy have like 2-3 tanks, you will have issues. But with the Rise pickup, is actually a cherry on top, just to make sure that the weakness of Caitlyn is actually nullified by the pick of Rise. And for the side of the Last King, is technically a draft that you see a lot in your rankings. Fiora, Nautilus, a mid lane Syndra, and yeah, just the Lulu being don't see Varus Lulu a lot, but it's still a good pick. It's always still a
Mm-hmm.
good pick. Varus Lulu, adding on to the attack speed, maybe Ardent Sensor as a first item. Get those stacks on, get those passive up. You could just start to burst down, but it's definitely not gonna be a poke kind of a Varus here. I don't think it's gonna be a poke lethality Varus, because trying to poke the Orn and also the Alistar is not that great, not that efficient. But if you could poke the back line, it's something good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always both teams actually do have a way to play their draft. It's not like a very weird draft like the last game. The last game, the the right side team Fearless just has a very weird draft. But this game, both teams has a very good draft. They have to play with their win cons. They have to play with their ability, the burst potential from the side of the Last King, like you said earlier, is so good. They have to burst those damage. If they could burst Rise, it could be the win position. But if the Rise just stays alive into the late game, it's gonna be hard for the side of the Last King.
Yeah, I think though Fearless, what separates them from the last king right now is the amount of frontline champions that they have. They have two, right? And for the last king, they don't really have a solid tank. So what's good about this for Fearless is that in terms of team fights, there's a lot of ways for them to engage, prevent engages as well, and just relatively or in general soak damage for the team. Even if this is an on-hit battles that will potentially build Nashor's Tooth, Runans, and all those DPS items, it's still gonna be a hard time for him to shred down anyone outside of Fearless, especially with the Alistar into the mix, because Alistar with this ult gonna get a lot of those damage, and that can be quite irritating for the battles as well.
Yeah, but personally for me, I don't actually like the Caitlyn and Alistar, lineup. I prefer Caitlyn with something like a Lulu or a Nami. But those champions has been locked away because of this is a fearless draft. So pick something. Oh, that skin is actually quite nice, the full party skin. But yeah, Caitlyn doesn't have the technically technically what would you say a zone enough, enough range, enough sustain in the early game. Alistar technically needs 2 or 3 level to technically threaten the enemy team. So yeah, he does have the knock up and everything, but yeah, with enchanter support, technically Caitlyn does way better in general.
Oh yeah, especially with the range, right? And so far they are doing a
Oh,
really good job now pressuring into the bottom lane. Yanta is getting low in HP. Nearly
oh,
got hit. And the first blood! Oh man, he got hit by the net. And the crit is there. And that's a kill already by Yandy Garcia.
yeah, just goes in and kills the enemy. That's the way, Alisa just needs level 3, and they did well. That engage was just perfect, and Lulu did not do well in, trying to provide the shields and everything. They are still level 2 previously, so they got the prio in the bot lane. They got the minions enough. They leveled up early, and they just jump in, and that was just enough to get the first blood for the side of Fearless. And, Fearless looking quite nicely done in the first minutes of the game.
And it's tough now for Nyanta, right? Because you're down, what, 800 gold against a Caitlyn that secured so much gold. They were able to crash the wave as well. And this is the thing, when you have an engaged champion support, right? Alistar is a tank. It's hard to take him down. And later on, when Sampo dives here or ganks into the bottom lane because he's now just hovering there, it's going to be extra difficult to actually reach the Caitlyn as well. Now he goes back into the base. Will most probably complete his boots for that extra damage and possibly even go towards. Oh! I got nervous from that support
Yeah,
item that he
yeah,
purchased.
same.
Yeah. Just go build your collector or something. It depends on
Yeah,
what type of Caitlyn you want to be.
just not go the support item, man. I would, I think, why is that support item being locked there? Luckily, he didn't went out of the base. Luckily enough.
Yeah. Because normally, right, when you purchase your items, you're also just on the way out to
Yeah,
your
true.
base.
But how did she even like locked in the support item? That's funny, looking someone's
press,
getting
I
caught
guess.
here, and Syndra is going to get the counter kill here in the mid lane. The Rise is going to be taken down. Those pressure values from the Syndra is going to be very important in the late game, controlling the match.
Yeah, it's a Syndra getting the burst later on, right? So all the gold needs to be on this champion. Or the Nautilus, honestly, because the Nautilus is also going to be building AP. Wrath of Ages is going to be the first item for sure with these procurement items or this prerequisite items. And Fearless, I think, especially the Nidalee Zeev later on, he needs to be very, very careful in his position because Nautilus has a wide amount of range. Syndra as well. Rod of Ages already purchased, but now top lane, Call of the War Shot gonna be used. Not hitting Raisin, so it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, but she has to sacrifice her flash though. She's seen the enemy team is ready to just jump in. So let's just sacrifice my flash, making sure that I stay alive. So no Call of the Force God for on means that Fearless does not have a potential engage in the top lane quite easy. So I think Nidalee might just, pass to the bot lane. Maybe, this virus is actually quite delicious, being poked down very, very easily here with an Alistar could just tank up the turret. So yeah, that's why we've seen Sampoke is roaming around here a lot, actually, just to protect this bot lane.
Yeah. He has to kind of watch over the virus and the Lulu just because of the amount of bullying that they are experiencing so far. Yeah, Caitlyn, Alistar is a deadly combo, especially when the Alistar goes in, headbutt pulverize. Andy Garcia can just place a trap over them, and then the crowd control gets continued and chained up, and they should be able to like follow up with a lot of damage afterwards. Top lane, I would say Bone Blossom is actually doing a really good job, despite him being up against a Fiora. He's handling his lane. It's not really getting bullied. It's not really behind in terms of gold, and Raisin actually is receiving a lot of heat from the rest of the members of Fearless with those ganks that he did receive a while ago.
Yeah, and them making sure that this on still stays ahead, stays, on par against this Fiora is actually quite important as well. That's why we see a lot of the Ninilla playing in the top lane, actually, just to make sure, both junglers are actually doing protective duties today, making sure that no overextend, no much of an engage happens a lot here. So, yeah, both junglers doing quite well this game. So, first game, it was Sampoke, doing weird things. Next game, Zeev picking not being able to use the Jace, to carry his own team. And now both junglers are actually doing quite well, and the Rift Herald is going to be the target for both teams.
Yeah, let's see who's gonna be getting the Enchanted Ensemble because last king, they have actually a good position to sandwich
Ooh.
members of Fearless, but wow, Zeev is just gonna snipe it out, getting the Enchanted Ensemble for themselves now. Last king looking to get the proper engage, Anti-Seer still being able to free it from the backside, completely allowing him to just
Ooh.
deal the damage, even flashing in because he has the protection from the Alistar either way. Nyanta keeps on firing those arrows, but it couldn't land the death strikes. And Fearless getting away 2 for 2 so far, at least in terms of the scoreboard, as Zeev preventing any sort of recall on this Fiora. But they've done with their job already. They got the objective.
Yeah, that was a really nice snipe there from Zeev, just hitting the spear jumps in and just using the passive from the Nidalee, spear thingy hits and then extra damage and then just smites it away from some Poke. Even though the Last King was actually in a very nice position to just secure it out, but Fearless played that well, plays their card well, and next is going to be the Dragon up for grabs for both teams. This is going to be Ocean Drake here, very, very important for both teams as well, but not as important as Mountain or also Inferno. So both teams in position. Varus finally finishing up the Nasha 2. This is 100% going to be an
Ooh.
attack speed Varus here, so let's see what they can do.
Yeah, Sampok wants to get his hands on this dragon. They need the sustain. They need the heal that the Ocean Dragon gives, especially with the amount of poke that Fearless actually has. They're trying to get into position, but oh, the trap! Sampok is just gonna get taken down. He is being sustained by the Lulu, but it's not gonna be enough. As now, Dragon still being prioritized by Fearless as the rest of the members are now going towards the members here of the Last King, diving under the tower. Ardo as well, diving there, getting a little too deep, but still was able to stay alive. And now the rest of the members here of Fearless
Ooh.
diving alongside with him and finishing the job for him as well. Although Raisin was able to pick up one in exchange for his life, it's still the Dragon and so many kills by Fearless.
Fearless plays that so well with the Caitlyn traps knocking, blocking, and everything. It is just total control from the bot lane in the side of Fearless. With the collector stacks as well. Look at the gold gap here, 2k gold gap. The Varus on hit needs time to build items, so it's actually not very nice for you to risk playing this out. The trades earlier shouldn't have happened in the Rift Herald. You might have just focused on, trade those objectives. It will be a way safer place for you to just scale, give this Varus time. But the Caitlyn is doing so much damage in those team fights, staying alive, free hitting in the backline, and looking at this again. It's a Varus attack speed. He needs time. He needs at least 2-3 items, but Chains of the Courage are going to be used. But Unbreakable will from that Alistar is going to make sure that he doesn't get chained up.
And that's a problem of the Varus. Even if he can execute so much damage onto a single target or anyone that has the stacks, when it's the Alistar, one ult denies that. And it just prevents Nyanta from getting into the faces here of the members of Fearless, or at least the rest of the members. Seer getting hit by that trap, nearly was punished there by Toga-chan as well. Unfortunately, did still have the flash and was able to get to safety.
Yeah, and the side of the Last King again losing their hope again. It's very, very Fearless has been very, very fearless this game. They do have a very aggressive bot lane. Both jungler are on defensive duty, technically. Defending. Oh, meanwhile, Rexon is being caught out here.
Being chased down. Call of the Forge God not gonna be connecting onto him, and he managed to stay away from trouble.
Yep, never mind. And Alistar is going to be killing that Syndra. Yep, but I believe it's with the help of the Rise as well. But, this Alistar getting those kills will means that he gets to his tanks item way faster than usual. Already done one item to block this attack speed Varus, to slow down the attack speed by this Varus. So, yeah, the Varus attack speed build is going to have a lot more trouble. And a fight in the bot lane is going to happen. Nidalee is here to help.
Yeah, Raisin this time has nowhere to go. Nyanta is here, but okay. Doom was able to help him out. At least they are just
Ooh.
accompanying him out of range or out of the threat area of Fearless. But now Baron's about to be up in the next 3 seconds. And actually, Fearless can actually
Ooh.
start it if they want to. Now, that's going to be engaged by some poke, but it gets punished. Use the Gargoyle Stone Plate to just stay alive. Flashes out as well, but Toki-chan's doing a really good job in soaking all of the damage. Headbutt Pulverize again, and knocks up 2. The follow-up is just brilliant. Call of Forge God again, calling the flash of Nianta just to be safe.
Toka-chan has been so clutch in this moment. Just don't give her Senna. Senna is no give her this kind of engaged champion, and she will always step up with the Rel the first game, and with the Alistar again zoning, engaging, and doing everything a tank should do. This is how you play a support. With Senna, you can't jump in. You can't jump in. You can't jump in. You can't knock anybody out. But yeah, with this kind of champions, with proper champions giving up to proper players, you just see how people just dominate this game, and this Alistar pick has been crucial today.
And he's paving a way for the rest of the members to get into position, get in line, and dish out the damage that they want to dish out. And is also zoning away Nyanta, just preventing him from doing anything into the fight. And that's the main problem right now of the Varus. Normally, when there's a Varus, even though the champion's nerfed already, it's still capable of shredding so much. That's why we see a lot of Pentacle highlights, not only in just standard RG plays, but even on tournaments because of the kit of the Varus, especially at late game. But with the Alistar, that just completely add another obstacle for the Varus.
Yeah, the Varus will have to do a lot though. This is going to be a Runa's Hurricane finish for the Varus, I believe. So yeah, it's very full on AP here. He does has to always rely on the Lulu to keep on the stacks up. But don't you think it will be an overkill? With you building full attack speed, the Lulu with Ardent Sensor. How many stacks do you need? You only need 3 stacks technically, right? So technically 3 stacks, you can
Oh,
burst someone down. And looking at the top lane here, Ardo is getting caught here. The ultimate from Fiora is going to be called here, but he just
great
runs away. He
slow.
just walks away. He's very slow. Quarter Forge God is going to call, but the Fiora is going to be taken down as well. The Alistar is finally doing his job again and locking up the Nautilus from just running away, and he just zones the enemy team. The Varus and Lulu could not get back into the game here.
It just can't get back, man. Especially with them being overpowered. Uh, Radiant Virtue as well helping Fearless with the sustain, especially with this item of Bone Blossom. Whenever he casts the Call of the Forge God, so much sustain is being given towards the rest of his teammates. And I think that really helps them survive the burst damage of the last game. And now they can just keep on stacking these dragons. So what more if they get the last dragon, right?
Yeah.
Ocean Dragon Soul for Bone Blossom and Toka-chan, they're just gonna be immortal at this point.
Yeah, and again, turning back around to the topic, how many attack speed do you technically need in AD? Yeah, you can.
The higher the better.
The higher the better, but you're just gonna attack into a Thornmail on. You're gonna attack into a Thornmail. You're gonna attack into a Alistar. You're gonna attack 1, 2, 3. You're gonna use one ability to burst the stacks down. But how many times can you repeat that process? And at this point of stage, it's just going to be very, very hard for you to burst those tanks down with. And right now, I'm seeing that they might just go an AP build here. It just might just be a what item are they building? Is it
Riftmaker.
going? Yeah, Riftmaker. It might just go very, very Riftmaker-ish. Trying to like do corruption damage, true damage. But can that be enough though? Can they reach the moment where Varus starts to pop off?
Let's see. Because when he gets the Riftmaker, so much sustain is given. Also, you have the additional damage towards tanks as well. It's a pretty common item towards the on-hit battles lately, or for a while now. And then when you build more AP, more damage is there based on HP on your stacks. And now Nyanta looking for an angle. Tampo not really connecting that dredge line onto one member of Fearless. And they're
Blue bot
just
lane.
being zoned away from the Baron pit.
Rice has to ult away though to make sure that he stays alive. The Fiora gets all the stacks but could not secure the kill in the bot lane there. And I'm really liking that Nyanta doesn't immediately press the ultimate, because if he pressed onto the Alistar could just deny the ultimate truly. So yeah, play this patient, play this calm. We finally seeing a team that is not rushing things out. So making sure that this virus gets those items is the crucial point. And looking at the Fearless, they might just hovering around the Baron. They might just start it.
And they can actually, if they want. Or they can be patient for a while because in 40 seconds, Mountain Dragon is about to spawn up. Sampo this time is sitting under a ward flash in by Ardo, and immediate follow-up by Toga-chan. They're just trying to take down the Nautilus, or at least chunk him low enough for a warp to disengage, negating all of the threats from the last king. And man, they're giving them no chance to come back here in this game. Baron being started already by Fearless. The last king trying to get some vision, but it's already too late. Baron secured by Fearless.
Yeah, I really like that engage though. I really like that engage. I'm Paul of the end about can he start healing up? But this is a tall male Ornn, and the Ornn just stepping up, and there you go. The ace in the hole reposed by the Fiora, but the Nidalee is just enough there. Just one auto attack is enough to take down Raizen.
Yeah, especially with Lich Bane and Dark Harvest, right? That's a lot of damage from Zeeb already. And now they secure the Ocean Soul. Oh, man. Nobody can kill their tanks now. They have so much sustain already, especially with the Radiant Virtue here of Bone Blossom and Toga-chan on uh, his ult, and even this frozen heart and Dawning Shadow as well. Man, it's really difficult to take down this Alistar. Still has the Unbreakable Will if he wants to. That's why he is confident enough to get in range towards Nyanta.
Yeah, he's
And
just
the last
walking,
king,
man.
yeah, slowly but surely, their throne is being overthrown. And Sampoke now getting caught with that knock-up. And another knock-up to just CC chaining up. And now this tower should just be taken down.
Yeah, change of corruption by the virus misses as well in the team fight, and the Fearless is finally Lakat Matata King, I guess, this time around. Around the base, technically, but not yet. It's still not the victory march here because they are throwing with the side of the last king and engages the Nautilus. It's going to be taken down. Fiora is going to be taken down as well. Two members from the last king is already gone. It's got it away. The turret is going to be the next target by the side of Fearless. Fearless is auto attacking the turret and knock up. Very nice, but knocking up the side of the last king. The last king is knocked down from their throne, and fearlessly enough, taking down, being the champion from the Indo region.
Yeah, reverse sweep denied by Fearless as they secure the first seed. And, well, it's still a great performance coming in from the last king. Even though they are dethroned for now, they can still reclaim their throne in the next succeeding games because they're still not out of the tournament. It just means that they're second seed.
Yep, correct. And can you give me enough time for me to set up the draw? So yeah, what happened in this game, Mr. Goyang?
Well, in this game, we saw from the drafting phase that there were a lot of counters already towards the Varus pick, or at least in terms of tankiness. Fearless invested a lot, especially because of the Ornn and the Alistar. We saw so much aggression coming in from Andy Garcia and Toga-chan into the bottom lane, which gave them the first blood for Andy Garcia against Nyanta. And afterwards, we didn't really see any chance for Nyanta to shine, especially because of how behind he was. Zeeb as well kept on giving them so much pressure in all three lanes. His influence into the top lane prevented Raizen from being able to scale up. Seer, even though he got a kill a while ago into the mid lane because of the gank of Sampoke, it still wasn't enough for him to actually scale up massively into a deadly Syndra that can 100-0 anyone. And Fearless just basically overtaken the entire game, giving no chance, no objectives at all to the last king, and definitely took over their throne, at least for now.
Yep, correct. And I am settled with the draw brackets and everything. So can we head straight into the draw session, Mr. Cameraman? So we want to draw immediately. We don't want to take you guys' time so much. So yeah, congratulations from the side of Fearless. You are our first seed of the tournament. Meanwhile, we will having our draw session here. So yeah, again, cameraman, Mr. Chris, can you switch the camera to us? I have the screen ready. So yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so this is the draw. Okay, this is the draw. I hope you guys can see. So yeah, so there's game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4. We are ready for the draw. These are all the teams. So first, second, third, and fourth seed will be the same. So there is nothing. So you guys will only be facing other regions just in case we are drawing, and then a same region happens. I will cancel the draw. So we will not remove it from this list. So the team will stay inside the draw. Okay. All right. So without further ado, let's continue on with the draw. So game number 2, red goes to Absolute Zero from MSB. So we remove them. This is a process. All right. So again, we're going to spin again. So this is just to make sure that everyone stay, stay safe. Stay safe. Stay as what do you call it? Stay as fair as possible. Game number 4, red goes to Gangstars from MSB. Okay. So we spin again. Game number 3, blue goes to the Grey Stallion. So whoever is in the top lane, top side, is going to be the first pick. Yeah. So MSB region actually done. So the Malaysia region. So let's spin again. Malaysia, Singapore region all gone. So we're definitely gonna see other regions now from now on. So game number 4, MM will be unexpected. So we have a Myanmar versus Malaysia. So unexpected will be facing on against Gangstars. So we'll be drawing it again. There's a few more slots left available. So game 3 will be Advantage Niggas facing against the Grey Stallion from Malaysia. So Advantage Niggas. All right, we're done. There's 2 more regions left. Game number 1 is still empty though. So let's hope there is no sinking regions here. So Philippines, game number 1, blue. So it means technically I don't need to draw the last 2 technically because there's only 1 Filipino team left. So I don't need. Actually, I can draw the last 2. So they cannot face each other already. So no Filipino team can draw the last 2. So the last 2 will be Drake Reborn goes to game number 2 facing against Absolute Zero. What's the team name again? Drake Reborn. Drake Reborn. Okay, Drake Reborn goes out, and also the last team will be the Last King facing against the Filipino sides. What's the team again? Filipino sides 1.5 odds. Okay, all right. So yeah, I got confused by too many teams' names. Okay, so we're done with the first round. Okay, so let's go into the second round. The second round is very easy. So there is no same region or anything. So we're just going to put you guys based on the numbers 5, 6, 7, 8. Game 5, game 6, game 7, and game 8. So we'll just go head straight into the draw. These are the winners for each region. They already won the region. They are the fifth seed of the region. So the Myanmar side will go to game number 7. Bumblebee. Where's Bumblebee? Okay, there you go. That's Bumblebee. Okay, all right. So I'm very happy that the draw goes well. I don't need to like redraw or anything. So yeah, outdated drafters will go to the number 8 side, so the lowest side of them all. So outdated drafters are gone as well. So we have 2 more teams, which is Faithful Boys from the Filipino and ID side Fearless. So let's draw the last draw. So we'll see where each team goes. ID Fearless goes into game number 5, and the last team. Where's ID? What's Fearless? Where's Fearless? I can't see. Oh, there you go, Fearless. Okay, all right. And the last team will be Faithful Boys going into game number 7. So there you go. There's our draft. So what's the team name again? Faithful Boys. So, seeing too much teams, I get confused so much. So these are the full brackets where we will zoom in for you guys. So yeah, right. This will be released later on. So these are the brackets. If you guys want to screenshot it now, do screenshot, do look at it. So yeah, we won't be taking your time so much. Guyang, do you have anything to say to all these teams that's qualified?
Well, the only thing I can say is good luck, and of course, never forget to have fun.
Yeah, never forget to have fun. Make sure that you guys keep playing Wild Rift and support WSPL. Thank you so much for all of our sponsors, all of our tournaments. We really, really appreciate you guys. So thank you so much for offering the KBS for these funds given to us organizing this tournament. Our host Instalock Esport, thank you so much for organizing everything for us. Co-host with Unimas as well, and helping us out behind the scene with the marshals, everything. We really do appreciate this. And don't forget our main streamer Gizmo Arena, making this stream possible, setting up all those streams in 4 platforms, in TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and also Twitch, to make sure that everything goes well. We're trying to get as much attention as possible, so this is the only way, and it is supported by Unimas Entrepreneurship Center. So thank you so much. We will be seeing you guys next week. So can we go back to our faces, Mr. Chris? Okay, so I just want to say bye. I want to say bye to everyone. Can we go back to our faces? I want to say bye. But no. Oh yeah, my camera. I totally forgot my camera. I turned off my camera. So yeah, I'm back. My camera's back. So yeah, if it's kind of messed up, no worries. So yeah, we will be guys the next week. There you go. I'm back. So yeah, we will be seeing you guys next week. Okay, all right. So next week, just in case you guys didn't know, okay, the first round will be on Friday. Okay, Friday. The second round will also be on Friday. So there are going to be some live games. There are going to be some offline games. So make sure you guys stay tuned, and we'll be saying our goodbyes. Guyang, say our last words.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much for your support.
Into our first game of the day, Waru Shattered Pacific Legion out the Absolute Zero versus the outdated Drafters. This is a best of 3 again, fearless draft. So
and just like that, one sweeper will just clear off all that minute, and now this is a wave building up to potentially a dive. So Zisune really has to respect that. Doesn't have the elbow available because he's clear off the wave, but he's still gonna be sniped right from across, and just like that, it's first blood for Absolute Zero. At least negates a little bit more of that damage, but look at the Spirit connecting once again. Musagi now with the World Ender commits right through, and he's going to be looking to at least deny him a little bit of that space. He's doing now with the equalizer, lands it right through, but that's going to be able to go in for a 1-for-1 trade. And he's just so explosive to kick things off. Both sides really showing a lot of interesting exchanges, and there we go. Gets them all rooted up, and they're going in for emotion. And just like that, the rocket does strike, connecting right to a dodge.
Those kind of, man, Nidalee, if it looks like jumping onto the Silver Hero, has to flash away, but that flash is not going to be useful because she is going to be taken down again by this Nidalee.
Forgot what's the advance?
Yeah. It's a very old ability. I remember Twisted Tree Line for some reason, and
that's very old, man.
The Twisted Tree Line, we call it Twisted Tree Line, and then the Nidalee gets another one. Hey, maybe
having a great dive back onto them with all the members jumping right in. The TP set right through, and they want to collapse. Cataclysm now locking 2 members intact, but it's not going to be able to matter all too much because Yun is right here for a rescue, but they will be able to strike first, taking out the Corki. Yu is already out for a list, and make that a double for emotion. Is this going to be a triple? Not going to be quite yet. It is going to be that shutdown secured, but it is a lost cause, and somehow there's a flank coming in away. There we go, Musagi. Looking for his target, he flashes a little. He does connect it though. Love JL, he's barely got enough mana. He is not gonna be able to really dive deep for that job, and so
and looks like a team fight is gonna happen again here.
Ultimatum onto the Corki is that's gonna be the value pickoff that they're looking for. Just like that, outdated Raptors, they're going all in. Back and Drag hits all in the 12, and there goes another member down for the side of Absolute Zero, chasing in for the Maokai with nowhere to go, and that equalizer seals the deal. And just like that, Absolute Zero, they lost all the kind of momentum that they built for this Nidalee, and now Dragon's online, and that will be grabbed by outdated Drafters.
Yep, looks like the outdated Drafters will have to sacrifice this Camille most probably for that Dragon. Is going to make sure that the side of Absolute Zero doesn't get the soul here. Jumps onto the Nidalee. Nidalee will be the target here. Will have to jump away. Can Yoon run away though? Oriana chasing it down with the Silver Ultimate also available. But Corki, is going to be taken down. The Oriana as a 1-for-1 trade here. But looks like the side of outdated Drafters is just going to make sure that just play safe, play calm. Do not rush things out.
It really feels like the rest of outdated Drafters, they do have the party. They send that exit element alongside with the equalizer. Just tickling down some health bars, but that's not going to be quite enough. Camille will be the first one to go down. Meanwhile, this is just heavy casualties from the side of Absolute Zero, where they were too late to the party, and this is just Love JL showing how it's done as they absolutely shut them all down, and it's an ace secured by Outdated Drafters. And right now, it seems like they want to bait Yoon into a trap, but instead, it is going to be Maokai being caught off. Just like that, they have to bail out. They cannot afford to even contest this dragon right now.
Now you have no CC. How are you going to jump in? Musagi can do so much with those 3 triple knockups and Hexagon Ultimatum onto the Aatrox here. Aatrox is going to be locked into the backline. Cataclysm locking onto 3-person, but Maokai is still staying alive in the team fight. Jumps forward to Gwen, tries to snip into the backline, but the Sivir finally manages to get a kill. Rumble gets a kill in the backline. Double kill. Nidalee taken down. No more Absolute Zero. Absolute Zero does absolutely zero in the last team fight.
And just like that, Outdated Drafters have outdrafted Absolute Zero here in game 1.
Right, so we're going into game number 2. Fiora's going to be taken away, and this again is always a target ban. You know, it's always a target ban. If you know that that team is so good in that particular champion, just ban it out. You know, just respect that.
But
and looking at the bot lane as well, Karim and also Twisted Fate finding the bot lane here, jumps forward. Galio is the only one alive in the bot lane here, not alive anymore, but it's going to be a trade kill. The Rel's going to be taken down as well, and that will be a very, very worth it kill for the side of Absolute Zero, but never mind, I take that back. I spoken too early. And
Yeah,
why are you here?
oh boy, I'm not quite sure either. They are spending too long right down the bottom, but they might be able to secure one up against this Mordekaiser, who's only level 5. Will be able to at least get, but for the moment, it is just a little bit of a dance of a parade around the Dragon Pit, and it is going to be a swirly call coming out through. Emotions now caught in between. Now this is going to be a tough fight.
Two-shot barrage going to hit onto 3-4 members, but Hackron finds the backline is going to feel everyone. Hero's entrance just enough to keep everyone alive. 4 versus 4, but the damage from the side of Absolute Heroes is just so much, and they have been chucked down until so much of HP. The Destiny from Twisted Fate is going to make sure that the side of Absolute Zero has to be careful. The yellow card is still available. Who he catches will get bursted down. The calling is going to be called here. Galio is going to turn onto 3. Hakurim is just half HP left, quarter HP. Will he be taken down? It's in the Mordekaiser. Brazil land, and Brazil takes him down, but it's going to be a trade kill. Ezreal's going to be taken down by the Twisted Fate as well. Set with the ultimate. Can he do anything? No, it's a 4-member Haymaker. Doesn't catch the emotion. Actually, the emotions is playing against us. Now emotions gonna be taken down with the ignite, and everyone is just jumping here and there and everywhere. And this is such a huge fight, and the dragon is still alive. Lane Hero's set is almost taken down as well, but Hakurim is gonna find angle. It's not just Hakurim. The 2 pauses gallop onto the set here. Magna Storm, Heroic Anchor is gonna try to save the set here, but it's gonna be taken down as well. Torn onto 2 on the backline, but there is no damage dealer from the side of Absolute Zero. Can they do anything though? Can the damage from Lee Sin be enough? But I don't think this Mordekaiser want to be in this position once he come out from his realm, and he cannot take down enemy. Lee Sin jumps forward, 2-shot barrage hits onto the backline. Galio is gonna be taken down. Hakurim fighting in the backline. Yoon finally taking down the horse, galloping away, but I think the turret. Chase back just a little bit more. And
What? And he still survives! He bought enough time for the rest of the team to be able to just slaughter down the rest of Absolute Zero, leaving only Musagi. But what can he do right now? Mid lane is gonna crumble in an instant, but can he buy just about enough space, enough time? He yoinks him all the way to the back. But can he actually settle the score up against Tsune? Haymaker! Not quite enough! Public execution to try to turn the tides around, but now he has to flash away. Destiny the gold card, and it does actually get this Twisted Fate into a godlike state. The rest of the horses, they're coming with a big flank, and is it gonna be Emotion? He lands the Mountain Storm.
Magnet Storms on to 2, and those 2 members are probably going to be taken down in the next 2 seconds. Gargo just going to make sure that they stay alive for another second, but never mind. Galio's taken down, Mordekaiser's taken down, 3 more members alive, but can 3 members do anything here in the back line? The yellow card means you're gone again, and in the top lane, you don't even need the horse here, and Ezreal's last man surviving, and the 0-6 Ezreal is a 0-7 now, and with no items at all, I think this would be our first regional final champions for the MSB region. Outdated Drafter takes us to game number no more, because this is a best of 3 only, and that will be our game for the MSB region. This is the first game for the Philippines region. Faithful Boys on the left, 1.5 odds on the right side. Best of 3 games. Who will take the game number 1?
Against the rest of 1.5, but they did actually pull a little bit of that chip damage on the turret. Oh, the Boo Boo already. This will secure it, and it is a win 1v2, bringing the 1v2, and he still will be taking down the list.
Damn, that was so nice. And looking at the bot lane, there's gonna be Dive Riven's gonna be taken down. Bot's gonna be the next target. Turret, no more to save you. Bot, can he portal out? Though he does, but jumps into the enemy AD carry. Can the calling do anything though? The Fiora is just last HP, but the Fiora is not gonna be taken down. And Mumu safe, and just enough to make sure that 3 members of the Faithful Boys be taken down here.
Right now. Oh, Flash Charm does not really hit the mark as that Time Winder really buys so much space. And just like that, they now reconvene, looking for another angle of opportunity. Another charm misses, and here comes Sad Mummy.
Curse of the Side Mummy got onto 3, and Ari just bursted down by that Aurora, and he is 3v1 with the Gargo, the side of Faithful Boys, and he's not going to deny on the fate. The flank from the Fiora is going to make sure that he stays alive with the Zillion. Oh, and will he be taken down? No, and 4 members. And all members actually from the side of 1.5 volt is still alive. Again, the Amumu keeps on getting those ults.
Yeah, they cannot just simply walk up just because this Amumu is showing so much presence. Does it actually lands a steal? He does! My goodness! He didn't have Smite Zane! That could have been his! But Fuyu somehow salvaged the situation by just throwing his first ability. I don't even remember what that stand was called already. But my, that was such a good read from Fuyu. But I want to see better follow-up coming from the side of Faithful Pride because this is their opportunity.
Charm's gonna hit onto the Zillion, and the Zillion is no more in the fight. Fate of the Mummy is gonna be used, but the Baron is gonna be secured as well. The side of Faithful, they have to run away. Flashes forward, Bandash is going to be tossed portals away. The bot is in a no man's land, and he is gonna be the sacrificial lamb for his team to just run away, and that is a very respectable.
They might actually get a deep angle here. They don't really know where he's at. And there we go. A call for fight.
Call for fight here. Charm's gonna hit on to the Amu ultimate from the Zillion. Just trying to make sure that he doesn't. Can it be popped though? Can the Zillion make sure that the Amu stays alive? No, the Amu is gonna be taken down. Curse of the Side Mummy is gonna be very, very useless here. But level 1, Jang
Top side though.
Again, in a very, very weird position. And top side is gonna
Nexus already.
Yeah. Back to the Baron. The Baron is still in pressure here. Will Zane keeps this pressure going? He just needs to find and engage. They don't know where the team is. And look at the Fiora. Jumps forward. Can he get the Riven in the base? No, the ultimate is not enough. And 2v1. I win 2v1, but not this time. And there's a shutdown onto the Fiora. And now the side of 1.5 looking for the time of Temple Fate blocked onto 2. Can they secure this Baron? No, it's going to be stolen by the Faithful Boys. The Faithful Boys leaves it to the Fate. And they finally secures the Baron. Steals the Baron and has to flash away 1.5 force. Your odds is in very bad position now. The ultimate from the Zealand is going to make sure that the Aurora stays alive, but he is going to be taken down as well. Corki packages away and has to recall now, though. The base is in trouble if they don't.
Those 2 super waves, top side and bot side, is just living and buying a little bit more time for 1.5 odds, but they are crashing down mid lane, and that's just about enough members to eventually seal the deal. The Nexus now exposed, the Temper Fate locked in, and the Faithful Boys, they will triumph in an epic comeback, a massive steal to still get themselves the lead in the series. We really do wonder as we go into round 2, but man, that was just a fantastic way to start off the show between 2 of the finalists of the Filipino representatives. But yeah, back to the Garen versus Lissandra. If you're trying to poke out that Garen, he's still gonna regen regardless, and we're seeing a scuffle for this Scuttle.
The Scuttle jumps forward. Ramos gonna get caught here. Will he be silenced though? Jangwon in a repose position, in a, what do you call that thing? And flashes forward. Ramos gonna be taken down by that Aurelia. It's gonna be a trade kill. Top lane gone, but Rumble's still alive. Garen is still tanking the front line here. Will he do anything though? Has to flash away. Rumble is in an overheated state. If he auto attacks, he might be able to do something. And looking at the small Yolder finally here, charge. Oh, Sun's gonna hit, and that will be an on being taken taken down. Flashes has to be used as well from the Lissandra. Fights again all over the place, man. I'm getting confused here and there. And then, look at the mid lane here. Engage from the Ramos here, trying to catch the Jin. Jin has to flash away, equalize him pretty beautifully, and he is going to catch the Jin off. Flashes away, has to be used. Aatrox with the Death Ender. Just going to walk around, and Garen just doing Garen things again.
Yeah, they're just gonna apply a little bit more of that pressure up in the mid lane. Goes over Keating, and that Rabbit over commits, and they will get the dive with the Judgment as well, collapsing into the first turret, and they will still be able to walk out with those kills. And instead, it's going to be a massive response coming from Faithful Boys as the massive shield is now getting propped up. He goes knock up in the air, but that does not deter this top laner, as that Rumble will still fall, but at least he gets things done. Here comes the curtain call. The Fool, he's got the escape. Oh, he will be sniped down.
He will be sniped down by the curtain call. The Dark Harvest is just gonna be a cherry on top for the Jin. This Irelia or Aatrox can find a weird angle to just navigate around the backline, try to find the Ezreal there, and look at the Rumble is gonna get Chi saying knocked up into Frozen, but he still stays alive though, because this is a full tank Rumble we were looking at. Colin Forge was gonna go on to 3. One person is going to get the Irelia, finally not in the game. Then the side of 1.5 looking to just take one by one down. They want to play this front and back. Garen's gonna get the Judgment onto the Aatrox as well. 3 kills onto 2, and the side of Faithful Boys will have to just play this slowly again. And Curtain Call gets onto the Ramos here. The Ezreal, the Fool, is the Fool that can he stays alive or gets another kill, but the Jin just does too much damage, and that will be a quadra kill for that Jin. And look at the dragon here. Both teams really want this dragon. They spend a lot, and Lissandra has to recall. Jin not available, not alive here. And I don't think Faithful Boys is in a position to fight for this, but they do have the Irelia, they do have the Aatrox. Color Force Force is going to be used here. Ramos is going to make sure that the dragon is going for them, and Ezreal is going to be in trouble. Is going to be taken down in the back line here, and looking at both sides here, Faithful Boys is in position. There is no carries from the side of 145 odds left. The damage from the Heimerdinger is not going to be enough. The ultimate from the Sun gonna lock this Ramos up. Can this Ramos run away though? Judgment from the Garen almost takes down 4 members from the side of Faithful Boys. Has very low amount of health, but they just cannot chase. They can't chase. If they over chase, the Faithful Boys will just jump onto them. Now all the 4 shots are gonna call Arcane Shift, jumps away, and that is Heimerdinger is gonna be busted down. Calling is the curtain call is gonna zone the Ezreal away. He has to stay alive though. Jin is gonna be target. Evening Child has to run away. Anything goes, trying to find something here. The Fool jumps forward. The Jin is still freely attacking all around with the Ghost. Just jumps. Oh, it's not Ghost actually. It's just his crit passive. Is just it's just very fast. And this fight, man, I don't know what to say anymore at this moment.
Is it safe to say that this game is pretty much over before we even break the Nexus? It might just be it, but hey, that's gonna be a catch coming from the Rammus, but he doesn't have the damage to stop Evening Child. And look at how quickly he just gets out of the party. Still has the kill force up, and this is gonna be a big committal with the Hornhorn being called right through. He gets the double knock, and now they collapse.
They collapse. The curtain call is just the cherry on top to make sure that nobody runs away, and that is going to be an unstoppable for that Jin. An 11-3-6 with almost 10 collector points here. That Jin is just doing a lot of damage in the backline with 1.5 cost, not being able to find any engage properly. Up, Lissandra's gone again, and you know that has been juking me a lot right now. And looking on the side of Faithful Boys, they just want to end this game as fast as possible, and Jin got executed by the base.
Oh, just a little bit of blunder, overcommit that back, buys time, he gets the shutdown on the Irelia. Jawan's already out, but he gives his life for it. Will Ender being popped just to get out of the way. They can secure themselves the Infernal Drake. And there is going to be a big bounty on this one. So 1.5 odds, it's still not over and done just yet. With the Mountain Soul, the Tang Rumble is going to get so much beefier. And now we'll use in a little bit of a pickle. Does not have the 4th shot up online, but they will still bring in the curtain call into the fight.
Yeah, I'm looking at a 2-shot barrage from that Ezreal. Does nothing, and the Garen trying to do something here. The Jin gets a double kill in the back, like Heimerdinger is no more and knocks up the Rumble Tang, and Zonya's gonna make sure that the Jin stays alive. Oh, Lissandra stays alive for another second, and I don't think the 1.5 odds has anything left in this game, as the side of Faithful Boys is looking to end this. Irelia gets another kill onto the Ezreal. The trough is a very bad trough, and perhaps we could just end this as fast as possible, and that will be a legendary for this Jin. The side of Faithful Boys living it to the fate. and they are going to get the free buy to the second round for the WSPL Shattered Pacific Legion.
So I hope you will be able to enjoy the entire course, especially you guys who've been watching. And all of this, of course, will not be possible without our dear partners as well as organizers to be bringing the WSPL to everybody to enjoy. And with that, we'd like to thank the funders, of course, KBS, ESI. They've been absolutely great as they have been supporting all of the youths in esports from across the region. And on top of that, thank you so much to Instalock Esports as our host of the entire WSPL. And I'd like to also thank the co-host, Unimass Esports Club, University of Malaysia Sarawak Students Official Esports Club. On top of that, our main streamer, Gizmo Arena. Big thanks to the guys literally getting everything done for us. You guys can actually check them out because they're having a cyber cafe back in Sarawak. And all of this is supported by Unimass Entrepreneurial Center.
We'll go